NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the Brits at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. My people at.
To the masses, I believe that I am. Hey, good morning, Internet. Good morning to you. It's a brave new week, and a lot of things are going on this week. Don't forget, you got elections coming up, and that's next week, right? Right around the corner, baby. You ready to make these decisions? Are you ready to make these decisions? If you're trying to make a decision about school board, I know you got 2 forums this week. There's one today somewhere, and then there's another one tomorrow over at Gabriel Place in beautiful Avondale. Check it out. And if you're trying to make a decision about some of the judges' races, keep listening between now and Election Day. Keep listening. Now, to that endeavor, this morning, I'm scheduled to have an interview with Judge Elisa Murphy. She is the current judge, municipal or District 1 here in, or Municipal Court 1 here in, I don't know these terms, here in beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. But that's at 8:30 a.m. She is a black female Republican. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we going to get into it, y'all. We'll get into it. And if you don't know anything about Elisa Murphy, keep listening. I am curious. Who is she? Many of you may know her. She is from the community. We will discuss. That's coming up at 8:30 a.m. Please share this podcast if you feel inclined to do so. If not, I understand. Currently 8:06 a.m. I want to talk about some things that happened over the weekend, not the least of which is your president bragging about the death of children. Oh, my God. Man, listen. See, you can't have you. Over the weekend, I heard the president of the United States. I mean, typically you don't hear that from a president. That it was damn near gloating. And do you know what I'm talking about? The president was damn near gloating over a military exercise. It was a military action that ended with the death of Baghdadi. You understand who that is? Baghdadi? Who in the hell, Nate? What? What the hell are you talking about? I'm talking about the so-called leader of ISIS. The so-called leader of ISIS. Trump is running a victory lap because a military raid that apparently they had been working on for years and years and years to find him. Apparently he was the most wanted man in the world. Really? You mean wanted by the United States in the world? I don't know who should be the most wanted man in the world. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was his name. And apparently he was the so-called leader of ISIS. Leader of ISIS? What the hell? You mean the group that was formed because we illegally and immorally, unethically, against the nature of humankind, decided to go into Iraq and we just messed it all up? You mean that guy? Those guys? Yeah. You mean the guys who were inspired by the last time we had a white male Republican in the White House? It's amazing how we create messes. And then somehow it's patriotic or somehow because we somehow find the solution or the resolution, which is the assassination of somebody thousands of miles away. As a black man in Cincinnati, Ohio, I don't know how I should feel about the news about this. I'm not sure how important this is to me every single day. And then the way that America just picks and chooses who we call evil is just so arbitrary. I mean, think about how this all started. Think about how this all started, ladies and gentlemen. This all started with 911. That's how this all started. And you had a white man Republican in his neoconservative administration who decided to, rather than strengthen, right, our resolve and maybe strengthen our borders or to take steps toward a better, brighter future for our humanity, they decided to get all techno-Orwellian with it. Patriot Acts, more money for the military, drones, bunker busting missiles. See what happens? And let's be real here. I mean, everybody knows that, if you don't know, everybody knows at this point that whole 911 day was really fishy. I mean, I know it's so-called unpatriotic to say it, but this stuff is really fishy. I mean, people were making money off of 911. There are people who were betting in the markets that something bad was going to happen to the World Trade Center and some of the various organizations, business entities that had like primary offices in those buildings. Somebody was making money off of that. They had prior knowledge. They had people setting up telescopes before the plane hit. I'm not making this up. 3 Israeli men were arrested. It might still be out there. They was arrested because they were setting up telescopes, basically in binoculars, pointing toward the World Trade Center before anything happened. People say, well, how could you? You couldn't keep a conspiracy like that. Sure you can. They just did it. Well, they did it and they kind of didn't do it at the same time. Right? They did it and they kind of didn't do it at the same time. Like, yeah, there's a lot of people who won't talk about it, but at the same time, all you got to go and look back at some of these old reports and you'll see it for yourself. You'll see a video or something. I came across something over the weekend to that. It was an old school news report right after 9/11, right? And they were reporting on the fact that people was making millions of dollars off of betting that something was bad was going to happen to the airlines and also to the various businesses that had home offices in the World Trade Center. Now, how the hell could somebody know that? Is it just Nostradamus is alive and well? Clairvoyant? Who was that? Was it Miss Cleopatra? Miss Cleo? Oh, that's Miss Cleo and them? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's one thing about human beings, man. Human beings that try to make money off of anything. Anything. It don't matter. There are people out there willing to cash in no matter what. Hey, listen, do me a favor. Do the world a favor, quite honestly. And take a couple of minutes and share today's show with your friends, your digital friends and family. Like I said, from the outside looking in, they may not know it, but it's some real MCs, some high-level thinkers out here. We see through the BS here on the Nathan Ivey Show and the Choppers. We see through the BS. We ain't going for it. We ain't going for it. Yeah, people make news off of 911. You flash forward and now, I want to know the mofos that was making money off of 911. Those are the evil mofos. You knew 911 was going to happen. You ain't you ain't ring the alarm. Or maybe somebody did try to ring the alarm and they got ghosted. Maybe. But instead of ringing the alarm, you're going to sit back and take $300,000 and turn it into $1 million and $2 million and all this kind of stuff. You think I'm BSing, don't you? I am not BSing you. I've got the clip for you right here. You can check this out for yourself.
Federal officials have begun a major investigation into whether someone or many people benefited financially from the evil done to the country last Tuesday. Not long before the attacks occurred, there were some financial transactions in the stock market that may indicate knowledge of the attack before it began.
So what's more evil? To plan the attack for your spiritual, political reasons, or to sit back and know the attack is going to happen and make money off of all that people? You see, I've seen people jumping off the top of the World Trade Center. Do you understand what that would do to the human body? Man, there's no difference from, a little bit of science for you, but as I understand it, just very little difference. I think you can reach the same, if you jump off the World Trade Center, that's, when you hit the ground, you run at the same rate of speed as if you skydived. You know what I'm saying? Objects that fall at some point, they reach a rate in which that's their max, I believe. I can remember my science back in the day. Head first. And it was people sitting back making money off of it. Maybe they should be the most wanted people in the world. If you're just tuning in, you're like, what is they talking about? We're talking about Trump and his victory lap over the weekend. I'm going to play just a little bit for you. And then at 8:30 a.m., I'm scheduled to get a call from Judge Elisa Murphy, and we'll chop it up for about 20 minutes. Okay? There was a daring raid. Trump talked like he was proud of this. He's bragging, and some kids got killed. So as the story goes, basically the U.S. intelligence and military forces have been trying to find the so-called leader of ISIS, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Hope I didn't butcher it too much. And apparently he was hiding in Syria. So the U.S. military, boom, they found him. They sent the boys in. The boys found him. Apparently he ran for his life and he had a suicide vest on. Stop right there. Starting to look around. I got bubble coat, suit coat. I got stuff I work out in. I got a whole bunch of T-shirts, sweaters. I don't have no suicide vest. What kind of mentality is that? Now, a lot of people are going to jump to it and say, oh, that's crazy. Well, it depends on their perspective. Are you willing to die for what you believe in? Because a lot of people say they are, but when you put them to the test, man, please, they're not ready for it. I love Jesus, but I don't want to see you today, Jesus. Not today. Right? I'm just saying that takes a different kind of resolve. So apparently as the story goes, I'm telling you as the story goes because, it's the U.S. military. They've been doing this propaganda war for 15, 20 years. There's been a propaganda war about, there's ongoing propaganda and ignorance and a gap there on purpose because they don't really want us to understand the various moves that our country is doing for our benefit. They say that will be sensitive or secret. But anyway, so Trump took his victory lap. He said he died like a dog. Now, apparently Trump's sitting at the White House or Trump, D.C., wherever the hell he is, and he's watching the whole thing because, the U.S. military, they got body cam. You know what I'm saying? We've seen these videos before, and you'll probably see a video out of this. And that's all a part of the propaganda, right? To legitimize every move the United States makes around the world by glorifying the military. Is there a more manipulated group of people in American society than the U.S. military, other than black people? We already know with black folks. But I'm just saying, beside that, the most heavily military police officer, black people. Heavily politicized. Every president claims they're doing it for the troops. I don't know if I was in the military. I would prefer not to be put in battle unless it was something that was absolutely necessary. So Trump took his victory lap. He's talking about taking Syrian oil. Yeah, we're just going to take their natural resources because might makes right. Might makes right. That's the United States way. So, oh my God, I'm sure Trump's going to be telling these stories until the day he dies. Trump told the story like he was actually there. told the story like, yeah, no, fool, you weren't. Where is Gerard? I mean, that was so... And then, so as the story goes, al-Baghdadi goes into a pipe, tunnel, some kind of underground structure, and he thinks it's a way out. It's a dead end. He had his 3 children with him, and the U.S. military, or what was being reported through Donald Trump and the world, which is kind of odd, and a lot of people are saying so, that Trump was just talking too much and telling too much about how the United States does what it does. But, I mean, he bragged his way into the White House. Why would he stop bragging now? It's been working for him. So apparently this man, the leader of ISIS, detonated the I guess it was like a explosive vest, something like that. Who knows? I'm sure they'll glorify it in movies. I'm sure Fox is working on a movie right now. They got a script. They're going to readapt it. They're going to adapt the script to fit this new narrative, I'm sure, already. And it'll be in stores in 2020. Look for that. Look for that. There's always like, listen, whenever some kind of military thing like that, I always think like there's a movie that comes out. Glorifies it. But anyway, so he detonated this explosive vest, killing himself and the kids. Trump's on TV gloating about it. Oh, yeah, he died like a dog, like a coward. I mean, come on, man. I'm not saying, I don't know what these man's crimes are allegedly, and I don't think that many Americans do. Stop lying. You don't know. Because we're not really properly informed. All we know is they said he was the leader of ISIS. What is that? I mean, I understand the definitions and a little bit of the history. But I mean, to most Americans, Trump's basically going to love this, okay? Oh, because he's just underlining his power. Look at Trump projecting his personal power around the world. Around the world. And, Obama, I just don't remember Obama being like that when they got Osama. Obama was more like somber, like regrettable, like, hey, this is what we got to do, but resolute. But resolute.
This morning, U.S. intelligence agencies are sifting through highly sensitive information that was gathered in the daring U.S. raid on the ISIS leader's compound in northwestern Syria. President Trump says the terror group's leader, that's Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, killed himself during that weekend attack. Now, this is a big victory for President Trump, who was accused of giving a lifeline to ISIS when he pulled American troops out of northern Syria. U.S. located Baghdadi using information provided by prisoners, including one of his in-laws, who met with the ISIS leader on a regular basis. Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett is at the White House with more on this story. Major, so what else do we know this morning about that raid?
Well, good morning, Gail. We know that the Army's elite Delta Force took the lead. About 70 American commandos participated in this raid. It took about 4.5 hours. No U.S. military personnel were killed, 2 were injured, and there were injuries suffered by a military dog. Meanwhile, 5 of Baghdadi's terrorist associates were killed in the raid on the compound.
He didn't die a hero. He died a coward. Crying, whimpering, screaming. And
President Trump described the final moments of ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi as a contrast in terrorist bravado and American resolve. Amateur video allegedly shows the raid.
The thug who tried so hard to intimidate others spent his last moments in utter fear, in total panic and dread, terrified of the American forces bearing down on him.
Mr. Trump said fresh intelligence on Baghdadi's likely location and where he might move set the mission in motion 3 days ago. U.S. forces took off from a military base in Erbil, Iraq, flying 8 helicopters, low and fast, for the roughly 1 hour and 10-minute trip to the location. Once there, forces blasted a hole through the side of the compound, catching those inside by surprise. Baghdadi fled to an underground tunnel.
He ignited his vest, killing himself and the 3 children. His body was mutilated by the blast.
A test of Baghdadi's scattered remains, Mr. Trump said, confirmed the identity. The president credited cooperation from Russia, Turkey, Iraq, and Syria.
Russia treated us great. They opened up. We had to fly over certain Russia areas.
The Syrian Kurds, who have seen the U.S. withdraw from the country as a betrayal, also played a role.
They gave us some information that turned out to be helpful.
While some Republican lawmakers were notified Sunday morning about the raid, other congressional leaders, including Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, found out when the rest of the world did.
It's great that we've gotten al-Baghdadi and killed him. He's a dangerous man, an evil man. The fight against ISIS has to continue.
The raid was codenamed after Kayla Mueller, an American aid worker and one of Baghdadi's victims. On Sunday, Tony.
All right, so there it is, a little bit of updates from my friends over at CBS. They do great work. Check them out. All to their credit. So let me greet the choppers before we roll out of here. I'm going to take a break in the next couple of minutes. And then we'll get ready for a conversation with Judge Elisa Murphy. If you have any questions, you know my style, throw them out there. I'll try to read them all. If I don't read your question, it's either one or two reasons why. I decided not to for whatever reason, and probably most likely is I didn't see it. I didn't see it. All right, 513-873-7134. Just kind of hold on to that for a second. All right, hold on to that number. And I'm going to take a quick break. But before I do, I want to greet the choppers real quick. All right, let's set that up. All right, Brenda writes, happy Monday. She's first inside the Chop Shop. Good morning to you, Brenda, bright and early. Tracy writes, hi, good morning to you, Tracy. What's going on with that issue? Tony writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you all. Angela's in the house. She writes, salutations. Ray writes, grand risings all. Angela writes, already have my ballot filled out. Early, I like it. Tracy writes, 50th birthday is Sunday, turning up all week. Angela writes, tune in to hear Judge Murphy bashing. Okay. She writes, I suspect she'll get the Alan Triggs treatment. Oh, that's great. It's the best treatment you can get. That means you're going to be asked fair but tough questions. Let me see. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag Team and I. Ray is in the house. Good morning, Ray. Oh, man, how was JB? Smooth. He was looking smooth. I'm sure he was hilarious. Sister V writes, Hotep, beautiful black people. We've lost another giant. Condolences to the family of John Conyers. She is absolutely right with that. I am remiss in my duties. Should have said that from the jump. John Conyers passed away. Yes. And I do have a few John Conyers flows just to update us on some of the stuff that he did and what led to his leaving Congress. Some say, he got caught up at the Me Too, but he died at 90. Man, we should all be so blessed to live to 90. But a moment of silence. There it is. Good morning. All right, with that, I'm going to go into a break. We'll come right back. Don't go anywhere. This is the Nathan Ivey Show.
This is retired Judge Fanon Rucker. I served District 1 for 12 years, retiring from the bench this September. And when it comes to replacing me on the court, to me, there's one clear choice: Janaea Trotter Bratton. Janaea was born and raised in Cincinnati, started her legal career in the municipal court, and has worked for years as a civil rights lawyer. She's a leader in our community, recognized by the NAACP and by the YWCA as a rising star. As a judge, I know Janaea will make our justice system work for everyone, and she will do it with compassion and fairness. So whether you live in Avondale or Evanston, Walnut Hills, the West End, or Mount Auburn, the people of District 1 need Janaea Trotter Bratton on the bench. She is the only Democrat in this race, and she has my full support. So on November 5th, vote Janaea Trotter Bratton for judge.
Thank you, Judge Rucker. It is an honor to have your endorsement. I ask you to elect me, Janaea Trotter Bratton, as the first black woman to be elected to this judicial seat.
Paid for by the committee to elect Janaea Trotter Bratton judge.
People are always talking about the stock market, always looking to invest in a good opportunity, something with the potential to grow. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock where you invest to make money, but a stock for social change. a whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for everybody. I could be the first college graduate in my family, the first district attorney from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there will be a second and a third. This can really be the start of something. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Nathan Ivey in the air chair. Great to be with you. That was a quick one. And I'm scheduled to be joined at the bottom of the hour, which is approximately less than 1 minute from now, by Judge Elisa Murphy. She's a black female, I believe, Republican who is running. Well, she is actually the incumbent, appointed. Hey, that's the way it goes in the state. Yeah, if you got a problem with it, get out and vote. That's the way it goes. But we'll talk with her and get a sense of who she is and what that means for her to remain as judge. What would that mean exactly? All right, back to your chat here as we get ready. Your boy was taking a victory lap over the weekend. Not me, your boy Trump. Yeah, right. And just want to know if you have any thoughts on it. Throw it out there. It's going to be everywhere, especially through mainstream media. It will be everywhere. You know? All right, we're taking a call right now. Let me see who this is. This might be my guest. Hold on a second here. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Hey,
Thanks
how you
for
doing?
having me.
Hey, Judge Elisa Murphy. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I know you said you had about 20 minutes or so I just want to jump straight into it and talk about the race. You're the incumbent. And tell us about the, what's your why? Why have you deciding to, stake your claim and to run again in this particular race? But first, before we get to that, tell us about who you are. Are you from Cincinnati?
I am from Cincinnati. I'm hearing an echo. I don't know if that's normal, but I was raised in Evanston. I went to school in Walnut Hills. I went to Melrose Y in Walnut Hills. My family owned the Old Southern Restaurant and Barbecue Pit and a store in West End where I worked as the carry-out cashier and behind the scenes. I am raised by two parents that were married until my father passed away. My father had a sixth grade education, and my mother was blind the last 5 years of her life. So that gives me a different perspective, I think, on life. My father emphasized that education is the key to opportunities. So I went on to Purdue University and worked my way through. I got a bachelor's of science in the School of Technology, and then I had to work before I went to law school, and I went to law school at University of Akron. And good thing about it, I learned that they don't have loans they don't have grants in law school. So I went through law school with a bunch of scholarships and very happy, very little loans. And so I went on to corporate America where I originated. And then I went on a missions trip to China and I saw the disadvantaged people and children there. And I quit my job. And I've been in public service for 20 years now as of January. And I started out being a child advocate in the public defender's office. And I was an attorney and social worker to children that were abused and neglected. And then I went on to the criminal side of public defender's office for juveniles, as well as I did civil work when we had a grant for civil work in public defender's office. And then I took the bench as a magistrate, and I was the only magistrate that did the criminal side and the civil side. And I was on the bench as a magistrate for 16 years or so, and I was appointed recently by Governor DeWine, and it's just a natural progression.
Now, one of my favorite local groups, by the way. I like that. So you said you went to school in...
I like them too.
Yeah. So you said you went to school in Walnut Hills. Did you go to Walnut Hills?
No. I actually went to, it was Marion, and that was in O'Briensville because I'm kind of older. And then I was the first graduating class of Purcell Marion.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And that's where I talk about my father's stressed education, even though, back then you didn't know you were poor, but they made a way.
So you said you was mentioned that you had been appointed by DeWine, and that's brought out. Let's get straight to it because that's been brought out, and people have made an issue of it in terms of you being a Republican. Is that in fact true?
Yes, I'm a Republican.
And I heard you speak about that a little bit, and we didn't get a chance to meet it. We got a chance to talk, but we couldn't talk really long. Mm-hmm. But I wanted you to talk about that more. Talk about your political philosophy, because from the outside looking in, it's like, okay, you got this sister, she got these roots, but she's appointed by a Republican governor, and then Trump's at the top of the party. So for me personally, that's troubling. I'm trying to reconcile that. So can you explain who you are, and how should black voters and people that have a certain issue about Trump, how should we look at you?
Well, there's two different issues there. First, me as a person, I became a Republican after I wanted some power because I saw that the children were being medicated, the children that were subject to abuse and neglect. And unfortunately, in order to preside over them, you had to have some kind of power. It wasn't enough to be a social worker. It wasn't enough to be an attorney for them. But at that time, when I was interviewed, they asked my views on certain things. And I mentioned that, I was raised by parents that believed in family values. I was raised by parents that also wanted the government not to be in our lives and was for small government. And would I do a fair and accurate job? Absolutely. And so I received the ability to make decisions where where children that were being medicated on Seroquel, Haldol, let me think of some other ones, Thorazine. I had the ability to now control that. And I learned that there was this kind of a disparaging issue going on between the Caucasian families seemed to be able to receive their children quickly, and the African American families and Brown necessarily, it was a longer process, and they were being permanently committed. So in order to delve into that issue, you had to be in the system to do that. Now, I went to both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party when I wanted to be a judge. And that is under my name when it was Pursley. And the Democratic Party wouldn't even give me a seat at the table, meaning wouldn't even interview me, even though I was the most qualified of all of them, and the person ended up losing the race on top of it.
What year was this? About what time frame are we talking about?
This is in 20 maybe 10 or 13. But if you just put in Elisa Murphy Persley, Persley, you may be able to find it. That's how I normally find it. This was also an issue with, Judge Tracy Hunter. She wasn't endorsed by that same party. And be honest with you, I don't care what party you're from when you come before me. No one has ever yelled Republican to me or Democrat or independent. I am a judge that treats people fairly. And that's what I am concerned about, that there was more importantly, a just distribution of justice, as opposed to you get a higher penalty because you go to the jury, or you get a higher penalty because you made this case go longer than it should, or some other mythological thing that people will talk about, like the jury tax. I don't do any of that. Don't believe in any of that.
I want to get into all of that, but you mentioned Judge Tracy Hunter. What's your take on that? Because I feel you when you say it's like when somebody comes before you, their party doesn't matter. That's not really the concern that I have. But what's your take on Judge Tracy Hunter? And a lot of people look at it.
Judge Tracy Hunter. I have known Judge Tracy Hunter for 30-some, close to 40 years. We went to Christ Emmanuel together. We worked at LexisNexis together. Her cubicle was right next to my cubicle. We were on the same team together. She went to my wedding. I talked to Judge Hunter when she was going through the process of waiting to get on the bench.
Right.
And I encouraged her. And I told the party, that is my friend. And in fact, it's funny that you mentioned that. Well, I started mentioning, but I was only judge that was at her fundraiser 2 weeks ago. I support Judge Tracy Hunter, and but for I think 2 damaging testimonies, she may not be where she has ended up.
Well, okay, I know you love Judge Hunter, but how do you feel about the Hamilton County Republican Party? I mean, a lot of people feel like they persecuted this woman, and now here you are, a black female judge who's a part of that party. So how do you reconcile that? How do you want people to look at that?
Well, I reconcile it like this. The Republican Party is the party that actually freed the slaves and gave me an opportunity to preside over not just adults, but children. I don't condone any type of racism. I don't condone any type of sexism or anything else. And I think anyone that knows me knows that what you see is what you get. And I point blank say that. I'm on national radio telling you this. I've said it for years. I am let me just dispel this myth. I'm a dark-skinned female in Hamilton County courts, and if you don't think the last 16 and a half years have been hard, then you don't know Hamilton County. Because I have had to be the best at what I have done. I had the best statistics in juvenile court, not just because I care about the people, but because I know who I am. I never forget that, because honestly, I am a woman from Evanston. And so I understand that no matter what, you have to remember who you are. And my father, who, when he died, was 92 years old, and he taught me, and he's from the South, and he taught me never to forget who you are. So I understand that anytime I walk into the courtroom, I am an African-American, dark-skinned female, and I am fighting for justice.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I'm not sure if you talked about that. I mean, so tell us what that's like. I mean, any examples? I mean, what have you had to deal with? Because you're right.
Yeah, there's
the way that you set that up, I hardly understand.
There's examples. You dot every I, you cross every T, and then after you do that, you go back and have somebody check what you've done. Because it is not easy. It was extremely hard. And being appointed to the judgeship is a natural progression from being a magistrate judge. I worked my behind off. Nothing came easily to me, and nothing ever has. I worked my way through Purdue University. I worked my way through Akron Law School. And to think that I don't believe that Black Lives Matter, or to think that I don't believe that bail reform matters, if you don't think that I believe that any of that matters, then you must have thought that I took off my coat of chocolateness to be on the bench. I'm the same young lady and the same older lady that grew up in Evanston, that always understood her roots, who worked, her family worked in the West End. We gave out food. People have given food to me. I know who I am.
I feel you. I'm speaking with Judge Elisa Murphy. She's running for, is it District Court, Municipal District 1? Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm currently in courtroom 144, and I welcome anybody to come to see me after the election.
Well, okay. So what are you, so do you have, so for instance, I mean, if I as a public citizen wanted to come down there and observe what you do you have a process where, people can do that? Are you accessible to the public for questions? Are you out in the community?
The process. Yes, here's the process. You either take the bus or you get in your car, you pay that expensive parking and go through the metal detector, or if you don't need to go to through the metal detector, and then you just come to 144 and have a seat. I have open court. My courtroom 604, when I was in juvenile court, was open court.
Speaking with Judge Elisa Murphy.
That's what you do.
So if, it's interesting. So early before you came on, I played, a promo for your opponent. And in it, you have the man who was previously in that seat who's endorsing her. So you got Fanon Rucker who's endorsing Janaea Trotter. And, Fanon's very popular. People are thinking that he might have a real shot at running for Hamilton County prosecutor. He's been in the community. So he was the guy who gave up the seat. He's endorsing your opponent. How do you process that? I mean, what would you tell people? Why should people who really like Fanon not take that endorsement and say, you know what, I'm going to go with her?
Well, the endorsement process is definitely a slanted and one-sided process. And with regards to that, he is a Democrat. He's endorsing another Democrat to get in that seat. But let me just say this. I don't have zero judicial experience. I have 16 and a half years. I am fair. The endorsement came, as far as I'm concerned, through the fact that they were Democrats. Not because she's or that I'm not fair. Not because that I don't have judicial experience. Not because I wasn't born and raised in the very communities that I am running in. I'm not from some outside suburb. I'm from these areas. My parents are from these areas, including Cumminsville. Every community, I used to live on Montana. I lived on Harvey. It's amazing that I don't spend a lot of time dealing with these forums. I'm out in the community. I am out every day in the community. because that is who I am. I was that before I became a magistrate. I was that before I became a judge, and I was that before I became a lawyer. I volunteer. I am really a hidden figure because I don't really like to be in the spotlight, but I've done all the civic activities you can think of because I understand that we're put here for really two reasons: to serve God and to serve others. And that is the way I live my life.
Speaking with Judge Elisa Murphy.
The endorsement is because there's one Democrat to another, not because I'm not the best candidate, because I am.
All right, let me see if I can get a question here from the audience here. I'm inside of the what we call the chop shop. Hold on one second here. I want to go back a little bit because I know somebody had a question. Here it is. Ask her about the commercial where she declares she never testified against a judge to lead to their conviction. Why does she feel that was relevant testimony to her ability to be a municipal court judge in the 1st District? That's from TNT.
Because what I can't comprehend is people say that they're for Judge Tracy Hunter, but they were the ones that were on the Judicial Committee, and there was no endorsement of Judge Tracy Hunter. They were the ones that testified and said it was unethical file that led to, and her client, that led to, in my opinion, the reason why Judge Hunter is or had to do the sentence that she did. What I'm saying is, you may speak with forked tongue. You need a person that you can trust their word and their abilities. And that is what I'm saying regarding that. You don't reward people that put or may cause other people to go to jail, especially if you and the community do not believe that she should have been in jail or convicted. Why are you rewarding that?
Interesting. Diana writes, what exactly did she do to support Tracy Hunter when she was being dragged by the Republican Party? ? That's from Diana.
Well, the thing that I did was I actually prayed. When you're a magistrate or a judge, you're under judicial canon. I also was a part of the Black Lawyers Association that wrote the letter regarding Judge Hunter's sentencing. But when people say that, I don't know what she did either. But I think I did a lot more than what most citizens did. And at the event of Judge Hunter, I did talk to her and indicate to her I'm still supporting her and still praying for her. And like I said, I was the only magistrate that was there.
So what's your philosophy? I mean, I think that we would both agree that the system is not perfect and that Black and brown people get caught up in it because of implicit bias, right? And because of other issues. From the position, what can you do? What's your philosophy to try to balance those scales? What have you done?
Well, what I've done is if I have an offender that has a nonviolent crime, I give them a bond that is cashless. So that's the OR, own recognizant. What I have done is I've treated people fairly. I don't tax people if they have or request a jury demand. That is their constitutional right. I've been a defense attorney. I've never been a prosecutor. I was a defense attorney, so I come from that perspective. I also understand that historically, brown and Black people have been mistreated in our juvenile as well as our adult system. And one of the reasons why I started in juvenile is because I did not want it to be a gateway to the municipal or common pleas court. What I've also done is I understand, but for a few wise decisions, I could be on the other side of that bench. I never lose sight of that. What I've also done is every morning I pray for wisdom so that I know how to judge people. I meditate, I pray, and I try to be led by God with regards to my decision making. So I think treating people the way you wish to be treated, understanding who you are, and knowing that but for a few decisions, you could be on the street, you could be in handcuffs, that is always not in the back of my mind, but in the forefront of my mind.
How's this process been? Because it's been quick. And did you get a heads up about the appointment? Like, how's that work? Did they contact you first and say, "Hey, listen, are you down?" Or did they say, "Hey, listen"? How does that work?
Well, let me just say that they have asked me to run against people before, and they have asked me to run against not just Caucasians, but brown and black, and I've turned it down. And I turned down it because there are not that many of us on the bench. And I think not just majority of us, all of us get along, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, and I don't think there's independent on the bench. We get along. And so with this process, I learned from, I believe, Facebook with former Judge Rucker announcing little hints on Facebook. That's where I get that first knowledge.
So what? Are you Facebook friends? You kind of was reading the clues and like, okay, what's going on here?
Well, it comes in your news feed. I mean, and then there's talk around the courthouse, always. And so that's how I first learned about the position. And when I learned that this was a position in District 1, I was interested because I'm from District 1. And so based upon that, that's how the process began.
That's interesting. It's been a quick turnaround. You know, you got to get the operation up and going and get out to the turnout and try to get people to, know who you are, especially because you have an opponent who's out there doing the same thing. So as you've been out on the campaign trail, what's the number one issue or one of the consistent issues that people always bring up saying, this is what matters to me?
Fairness. Are you going to be fair to people? That's number one. They say, well, I heard you're a Republican. Are you going to be fair? What I tell them is judicial elections are different, meaning state judicial elections are different than your normal election involving a politician, because judges are not to be politicians. And now, people point blank ask me, like you did, about my political affiliation. I tell them, however, I will tell them that it is a nonpartisan election. And I'm saying that because you are required to be impartial on the bench. And if you ask the attorneys, I am a fair and respectful judge. And I have been fair and respectful when I was a magistrate. And so the second thing that they talk about is the substance abuse issues, depending on what, area of town, particularly in Walnut Hills area, like the opiate. And see, I have a kind of different take. I think that treatment should have been given to people who were addicted to crack cocaine, just like the opiate addict, because the effect that it has on the family, and just historically, the people addicted to crack cocaine may have been brown or black, and then the opiate addict is primarily Caucasian. But I believe that's the part of fair justice. So they talk about that and the effect on the community. They also talk about bail reform. And so with regards to bail reform, there were three people chosen by the Black Lawyers Association to do a forum on bail reform. And I was one of them. And we did that at New Jerusalem probably about 2.5 months ago. And so I am a proponent of bail reform. And I have seen since that, let me just get back to the Supreme Court now had a committee on bail reform, and they have gathered statistics, and they're looking at that it has been systemically a problem, or I should say not systematic, systemically a problem in our court. And so in talking about it, not just with particular judges, but all judges and judges in general. And when you get your docket sheets, you can see what kind of bond people have set. If it is a low-level offense, I'm not going to set a bond that's full of like 5,000 capias, 5,000 if a person capias. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't make sense to me.
Speaking with Judge Elisa Murphy, someone wants to know what has been some of her greatest challenges being a Black female judge in Hamilton County and Cincinnati. I think you kind of spoke to that a little earlier, but he might have just tuned in.
Yeah. When I was growing up, my family told me some families tell you have to be 2 times as better. My family told me you have to be 3 times as better. And I found that to be true. And you never lose sight of who you are, no matter what title you have. Some people don't care about your title. You have to look at, okay, I am an African American female. I don't lose sight of that. I think that, for instance, when you're in juvenile court as a magistrate judge, my films were viewed, I think, more so than other people. At one point, there were my decisions are looked at, to me, more so than others, unless you may be screwing up. But see, that was never my issue. You just the pressure of being who you are and attempting to be a role model in our community, that pressure, but you're scrutinized more so than I think anyone, unless you're brown or Black male.
Here's a question from Iris Rowley. She wants to know, why is Hamilton County Juvenile Courts considered to be one of the worst counties as it relates to Black and brown children regarding sentencing and treatment? And can she tell us what she has done to reduce those numbers in the juvenile court? And what was her worst case while being a magistrate in juvenile court? And where can we find the numbers?
All right. Now, we might have to break down.
I will break that down. I know that was a whole lot. Let's take it from the top.
The numbers. Okay, go ahead, sir.
So let's start. I should have broken it down from this way from the beginning, but here's the first question. Why do you believe that? Why is it that Hamilton County Juvenile Courts is considered to be one of the worst counties as it relates to Black and brown children regarding sentencing and treatment? And what have you done to reduce those numbers?
I think that when I became a magistrate, there was a lot of old school and I'm saying that euphemistically, people that were there. And it was really a hammer down type approach, and it was not people around that look like you and I that could relate to our children. And I believe that Hamilton County is just unfortunately a what's the word? It's a reflection of the United States in itself. Unfortunately, brown and black children, as well as adults, have gotten the worst sentences, the longest sentences, and I'm aware of that. And so while I was on the bench, I was cognizant of that, and that's not my implicit bias. And so I have a just approach to that. I used to tell the children that when you come before me, I look at you as if you were my two children. What would I do for my children? So if a child comes before me, I don't hand them a tougher sentence because maybe the color of their skin or the fact that they can't wear a suit in court, or the fact that they have a particular zip code of 02 or 07. You know, I look at them the way that I would my children. So that's the way I countered that. But there has been, I can't remember the year, a great deal of turnover that has occurred, and there are newer people that help to combat that, including myself, John Coleman, when we were in there, Scheherazade Washington, Nicole Sanders, and Wendy Cross, that were not there beforehand. And when I did the delinquency or criminal side, being one that was their attorney at first, I had a different perspective on both sides. And so, like I say, I never lose sight of, but for a few decisions, I would have been a juvenile in jail. And in fact, because I was raised in Evanston, I had a fight probably every year of my life up until I got to the later years in high school. And so in this environment, they would have put me in passages, or they would have put me in DYS, or, somewhere.
Right.
But I understand that Hamilton County has a problem. And so that is one of the reasons why I want to continue on the bench, because not only do I understand it, but I apply that every day. When I see someone with an outrageous bond, and I reduce bonds. If it is to me, a ridiculous bond, I'm not going to continue with that, because that is in violation of someone's constitutional right.
Right. Well, how does that happen? How are we still getting, so since we now understand the role that these decisions make, these biased, racist decisions make, and it impacts our communities, what do we need to do to stop that? Well, why is this allowed? What do the people need to know?
Well, you have to do what you're doing, sir. You have to bring them on and talk to us about that. You have to know our positions before you even elect people. And so my position is what I've told you. I treat people the way I want to be treated. I am fair, but I know that Ms. Rowley had more to her questions. As far as the stats, there are two places to get juvenile court stats. You can go on the juvenile court site and go under the annual review or annual report, and they have some statistics there. And then the Supreme Court of Ohio even has a segment that talks about, I don't know if it's called reports and statistics, but this is the sad part. A lot of them are watered down. I think you would have to file a Freedom of Information Act to get more. But there are the annual reports that are brought out, and the Supreme Court has, they have special task forces that have the stats within those reports. But I'm an avid researcher, and honestly, it was hard for me to find some of those reports.
Interesting. Very interesting. What was the worst case that you presided over as a magistrate in juvenile courts?
Oh, gee. Juvenile court, when you're in juvenile court, you primarily are with, most people think it's the children, but you deal with adults more so than children. But there were so many cases. The one case where the father had raped his daughter repeatedly, and the stepmother found a card about a year and a half before all of it came out. And then a year and a half later, the stepdaughter was pregnant. And with that case, the stepdaughter begged me, for lack of better words, and I was her attorney, to abort the child. She thought she was going to lose her mind. And so back then you could appoint the guardian ad litem you wanted. And I requested a guardian ad litem, and we petitioned the court for her to not go through with that pregnancy. And she didn't go through the pregnancy. The juvenile court judge granted that petition, and they preserved the evidence, and hopefully he is still in jail. And that was the only thing that brought him to justice, because he denied raping her over and over, but the evidence showed that that was his child. Second was the one, not in any particular order, where the lady cut off the baby's head, was my case. The baby was only, months old.
Right.
And she was severely mentally ill, and I ordered for not only her but the family to stay away from the child. And unfortunately, the children's services allowed that, and the baby is gone. And then I had, you can name it. A lot of the cases that are on the news, I presided over a case where the gentleman cut his wife up, unfortunately, and put her remains in the trash. I mean, there's so many cases. Children walk the street. Like I said, you name it, I've had it. It's sad.
So in a case like that, do you have to review all of the photographs and all the information that comes in from both sides?
It's just like any criminal matter, even though it's considered civil. Yes, they bring evidence in, and you review what they have.
Huh. Interesting.
Absolutely.
That is interesting. Speaking with Judge Elisa Murphy. Well, I want to make sure that I'm clear and you understand, everybody understands where I stand on this. I mean, I asked those questions about the Republican Party because they're relevant. I mean, me personally,
absolutely.
I'll say it straight up. My politics are more progressive. But as I've said 1,000 times, we need black people in the Republican Party. But we don't need black people in the Republican Party that's punking out. We need people that's going to challenge the party from within. So I'm trying to figure out who you are, right? That's where I'm coming from, just straight up. Well, that's why I was asking those questions, because I'm looking at some of these comments here, and I think people are making assumptions about where I'm coming from, but that's where I'm coming from. So, the party affiliation.
Nobody's ever called me a punk,
And I wasn't.
I would do it again, because I told people, I believe at the NAACP and the Masons forum, I was a Democrat probably more years than a lot of them were living. And so, but in order to make the decisions that I think that were needed for our children and adults and families that were in juvenile court, I made that decision because that is what was needed. And I'm proud that I reduced the rate of the children being on medication. I'm proud that African American females and males were reunited with their children. I'm proud of that. I'm proud that when the attorneys came before me in any of the other civil matters, that I gave them a fair shake. And in fact, the one attorney just sent me something on Facebook, and she wanted to know whether I would tax a jury, that jury tax. And I told her, I don't believe in that. I believe in the Constitution. I work for Leslie Isaiah Gaines. When I stopped physically protesting, is when I took the bench because it was prohibited. And I try my best to uphold the law, and I never, ever will forget who I am. That is in my blood. That is in every fiber of my being. I know who I am. So I know who I represent.
So when you say you're for the Constitution, I get that. But what does that mean? Are you saying you're like what people call what was a strict constructionist? Or are you someone who understands that, there's open to interpretation and flexibility based upon society and changing mores and values?
What I mean by that is, if you come before me and you did not believe that you committed the crime and you did not commit the crime, then if you want a jury trial and say you lose at that jury trial, I'm not going to give you 180 days. Say it's a misdemeanor in first degree. I'm not going to give you the max.
I get what you're saying.
I'm going to give you exactly what I would give you if you pled out right in front of me.
Right.
Because that is your constitutional right. Now, I understand that the Constitution, the problem with, I don't even want to get into that, but we were considered 3/5 of a human being. So the Constitution for us always has to be progressive.
I feel you. Hold on, let me go through here, make sure there's any residual questions, and I'll just, thank you for your time this morning. It's been very, very interesting.
I was going to go to Peerless, but I think it's more important to finish talking to you. I had to go to Peerless to pick up my printing, but it's more important to talk to you and get out their concerns, because it bothers me that they think that just because I have a R behind my name, just like Judge Leslie Isaiah Gaines, like Judge John Burlew, Judge John Skip West, who all were in District 1, that I can't do a good job.
Yeah, because it's that Donald Trump guy. It's that Donald Trump guy, He's also got an R behind his name. Whether that's fair or not, people are going to look at you and be like, does she support the Trump agenda? Whether that's fair or not, that's how people look at it.
So does Kasich. He has an R by his name just because that's like saying that all Democrats support racist Democrats. That's ridiculous. That is simply ridiculous.
I feel you.
I don't support anyone who is racist. I don't support anyone that tells people to go back to wherever they came from when they actually came from the same place where they're standing. I don't support narcissism. I don't support these things. That would take off, how do I explain this? Who I am and who I was raised by. I was raised by John and Bessie Murphy and Clarice White. They knew who they were, and I know who I am.
Well, Elisa, I'll give you the floor. Any last words to folks out there, the voters and people that might be influenced, to other people that might vote, for people who are listening in your district? The floor is yours.
Well, my website or my email rather is Judge E. Murphy, Judge E. Murphy, Murphy, and you can contact me there, or I have my phone on my political website, and you can contact me there with your questions because I want to answer your questions, and I'm asking you to vote for me. There is no reason to replace another African American woman with another African American woman when I have told you who I am. Not only do I tell you, but I told even before I went on vacation for this week that people can come down to my courtrooms. I am who I say I am, and I am asking for their support. I need their support and I need their vote because if you want to take another person off the bench, it shouldn't be me because I'm in the trenches doing what I'm supposed to do. And nobody can tell you otherwise. There's not one attorney that can tell you that I'm not doing what I say that I'm doing. I'm a person of my word. So please vote for Judge Elisa Murphy, and I thank you for your vote.
Yeah, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. That's Judge Elisa Murphy, and I'm glad to get a chance to speak with her and get a sense of who she is. So you got a decision to make. You know, you either Judge Elisa Murphy, who is currently in that position. She's been there for, 6 weeks now. Okay, so Fanon Rucker steps down. And you know what? I think the timeline is, I'm not sure what the timeline is, but at some point, Janaya Trotter Bratton, who's her opponent, the Democrat, we talked to her about a week or so ago. I'll repost the interviews side by side because they're running against each other and people can make their own decisions about how they feel. And we shall see what happens. We shall see. We shall see. What do you think? What is your impression of that sister? She got roots in the city. Interesting. It's going to be deep. It's going to be deep. How much? Really, what is this going to come down to? What is this going to come down to? Okay, so she's the incumbent, but Fanon Rucker, who a lot of people in that district liked, he's given his recommendation for her opponent. Which is going to be more powerful of a motivating factor, an influencer? I'm sure smarter minds than me can dissect that and break it down. What do you think? Lawrence writes, rack her destroying the Trump theory Dems keep trying to play. I feel you. Kind of feel you. Let me see here. Well, hopefully, the conversation would spark someone to go down and maybe sit in her courtroom before they make a decision. It depends on your level of, I can see somebody doing that. I could definitely see somebody doing it. I could certainly see someone doing that. That would be helpful information. Let me go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Nathan. Kev on the sale. How are you, brother?
What up, Kev on the sale? I'm doing great. Welcome.
So I don't know the current person. I know a little bit more about Janaya just from her being on the your former station. But I do want to say this: I think that we do need to get past judging people on the basis of that R and that D. A lot of times it can be a deciding factor, to be fair, just because of how people align. But, you got to kind of take people also on what they say and who they are. My biggest concern right now is that this is going to end up being pit one black woman against another black woman type of thing. And I got to give the judge a little kudos on the fact that she did not do that. She wouldn't bite that apple at all. In fact, she did her very best to make sure that it was not. I'm not going to attack this other black woman. So some kudos there. Judge Fanon's word kind of does have some weight, though. I mean, I know the brother, and I know that he's active in the community, and he's relatively a good dude. So it's kind of hard not to have some weight on your decision, right? But in the end of it, though, what's wonderful, bruh, and what I'm loving is to see that we are being represented in the court. And again, this is so if you didn't get registered in time for the upcoming lecture for next week, you need to make sure that you're registered in time for the next political, I don't even know what to call it. The most important thing that's going to be done in probably the next 8 years at least, right? So, take everybody on their face. This is difficult, man. I definitely don't want to cast any aspersions against the lady that just spoke. Again, I know a little bit more about this truck about to hit me. I know a little bit more about Janaea, but yeah.
So keep it straight with me. I mean, what was your general impression of her? I mean, it's only a short amount of time. It may seem like a lot of time relatively to doing a 2-hour show or even a 3-hour show, but we only got a chance to speak with her for a short time. But what was your general impression of her?
So the thing that impresses me is that she did reach back and say, hey, look, my roots are here and I'm from here. And I do understand the challenges that are present in Hamilton County, because that's important for whoever speaks, right? But the other part is, again, you go back to, well, who gets the endorsement and who doesn't get the endorsement? Is it just because of the D and the R? I mean, it could be. Perhaps her and Fanon are the best of friends outside of this. I don't know. My impression of her is she sounds competent. The policies that she stated, if that's the way she runs her court, that's what's up, because I do know that there's this thing, and when I say I do know, I have a degree in political science, and I've had not just professors, but actual attorneys and others tell me in a constitutional law class that part of the judicial process is to manage cases as quickly as possible, because that's part of the process. And so, part of it is if you don't plea, you might pay if you don't plea, and that's not fair to me. I don't think that it's right that just because you said, hey, I don't think I did this, and I'd like an opportunity to prove it, that I then say, okay, well, if you do that, I'm going to throw the book at you. Where's the fairness in that? Like, it's my
like how dare you? Right. How dare you use your rights? How dare
you not want to go to jail?
Well, I'm glad I stopped to clarify, and we didn't just go with her saying constitutional, because I wanted to make, that was a great point that she made. I'm glad she understands. So what's that tell us? That tells us there are some judges that are doing that.
Absolutely.
That's what it tells you.
Like I said, this is firsthand. I took constitutional law, administrative law. I took many law classes. Part of my degree, part of my undergrad is political science, and my graduate degree is in public administration. And this was said, period. Like, this is part of the class. Sometimes we offer a plea. If you take the plea, if you don't take the plea, then one of the consequences that are levied against you is, you don't take this plea, we're going to throw the hammer at you, we're going to throw the book at you. Oh, well, I'm looking at 1 year or 6 months, just like they just did to the judge, to sister judge. Same thing they did. Hey, we'll let you out as long as you cop to this. What? Wait, no, you're going to take my law license? You're going to take my opportunity to exist? No, I'm not going to cop to that. I'm not going to agree to that ever. Oh, okay, well, we're going to make sure that you get the max. That's not fair. So from that standpoint, I mean, that all sounds good, man. That you can't beat that with a stick. But I also know that the other sister has the same exact policy. So then, where does that lead you, right? I don't know. I don't know. I think judge everyone on their merits. Don't judge on the DNR. and do your best to be fair. And that's probably all you really can do, right? And Nathan, I appreciate the time, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Take it easy. That's Kev on the cell. We'll go ahead and rack him. We did have, I thought that had Sister Iris on the line there. She says, why don't we have a live debate in this forum? I'm open to it. Look at the calendar here. I wonder if they would be open to it. I'll reach out. She sounds like, with that slogan, FP. Okay. Sister Iris is calling in right now. Hey, how you doing, Sister Iris?
I'm frustrated.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
And let me tell you why. Hamilton County Juvenile Courts is considered one of the worst courts out of the 88 counties in the state of Ohio. So when I ask specific questions about juvenile courts, I like specific answers because that's the beginning of where criminals are made, inside of that very racist and biased court. And so when I'm asking magistrates or either judges who are either currently working for taxpayer citizens, because these elected positions make these people our employees. They are not judges that we need to be looking up to. They need to be people that we are holding accountable to their ideologies and how they practice on their jobs. And if you look at the numbers, Nate, as I do, I'm frustrated when people tell me the numbers are there because they're not there. Because I'm trying to help reform systems that are very punitive, not just to Black fathers and Black mothers, but Black children. So when I'm asking specific questions about the juvenile courts, I need specific answers. And it is very unfortunate that we do have two sisters that are running for a particular judge seat. Now, we know how Hamilton County judges treat African Americans. I'm not getting any sense from Ms. Murphy that that's going to be any different from the party of which she represents, especially when she talks about Judge Hunter. The Republicans almost took 10 years to persecute and try to kill a Black woman in this county. And I've not heard many Black Republicans stand up outside of, I think I heard Charlie Winburn. I've not heard many Black Republicans say that how they're using taxpayer dollars in the prosecutor's office to prosecute Judge Hunter was just crazy as hell. I didn't hear that from Ms. Murphy. I didn't hear Ms. Murphy say that in the first 5 years of Judge Hunter fighting for the right to get her votes counted, which was the highest public part of democracy that you can do is to run for office. I didn't hear that. So I'm looking for consistency. There are some of us who are out here on the grounds doing the work and who hear what people say and watching what people do. And when I tell you we can't find the numbers, Nate, and I've come on your show and I said over a third of babies that are arrested by police municipalities that are taken to juvenile courts, we don't know who they are because the Hamilton County juvenile court system is old, it's antiquated, and we can't get the county to fix it so it can talk to the city police so we can know what the hell is going on because we pay for all of it. I need specific answers. I need direct answers, and I wasn't getting those. This isn't about likability. This is about one's history when you've been my employee because my tax dollar says that we pay your salary, and I need to know what you're doing. When I ask about sentencing and treatment as it relates to children, it is horrendous. Hamilton County is looked at as one of the worst in the state. It is horrendous. And when I've not heard anything from someone who's been there for a while, not talk about anything legislatively that they have done, not talked about even, I sent you a question to ask her, is shackling being done again? Because we're getting reports that shackling is being done. She never mentioned Judge Hunter as the judge of juvenile court. She was the elected judge. She never mentioned that, who put forth some legislation to change the way things are being done, more specifically towards Black and brown children. She didn't mention that. For me, that's problematic. So when people are asking specific questions to those of you all who don't live here, who don't pay attention, who don't know, we've been around a while. And so we've seen some things. And I've gone to more criminal defense conferences for juveniles in the state of Ohio, and I understand and know being in the room and trying to find the data and seeing the numbers, when we see that a third of our babies are being arrested and we don't know who's arresting them because the system is broken, it's old, and I don't hear from people who work in the system talk about how they tried to fix the system or they're working with people to put this together to fix systems. That's the type of individual that you will elect to the next seat. So for me, I take these things very, very serious. seriously. For a person who runs an unofficial juvenile court in Madisonville, for people that don't know that, and we've been doing that for the last 9 years out of our own dollars, we don't get paid. The juvenile court system doesn't help. As a matter of fact, they hurt. So, just don't listen to one interview. Do your homework. Find out and listen to what's not being said. Listen to what's not being said. Now, I'm not trying to get you to vote for anybody. I'm trying to get you to take your voting more seriously and be serious about who, whether they look like us or not, are in these seats. One, we're paying them. Two, they could do so much more, so much good and do a whole lot of damage as well. So we need to be about finding those people who are consistently trying to make the change that you're seeking, that I'm seeking, and those of us who are out here fighting, and not just calling the radio because we ain't got shit else to do, because I do. And this is serious. It starts in Hamilton County Juvenile Courts, the making of criminals with black and brown babies, the sentencing and the treatment, the lack of community work, the lack of prosecutorial difference that they could use in juvenile courts. Where was Ms. Murphy's voice for the past almost 10 years on Judge Hunter? I've not heard these very critical, important things to our community. And our community deserves better. We need wins. We need people that are going to go in here and make changes for us and make sure the system at least seems to be fair, because what we see now, it isn't, Nathan. And I'm sorry to rant this Monday morning, but I'm just very frustrated by the lack of our sophistication as it relates to voting and how and whom we should be voting for. The records, the data is clear. It doesn't change. It's hard to get the juvenile court data. We had to go to the FBI to get the data on juvenile courts in Hamilton County because they just don't publish the relevant data that we need to see. How old is this child? What's the race of this child? What's the arrest of the child? What was the sentencing of the child? Where was the child adjudicated from? And do you know, Nathan, that once your child is adjudicated into the state system, the Department of Youth Services, the parents have to pay to have their child locked up? Yeah, and it's called child support. That's an unfair system, again, to black and brown people. Yeah, so when we are having these dialogues, good people, we need to understand what these systems do, who's responsible, and what is our role in holding people accountable in these seats. And with that, dear brother, I wish you could have had a live debate with both of them, because it would be nice to be able to ask of the questions when people are accusing other people. Did you participate in that? Did you do this? Was this your responsibility? I would have loved to have that happen on the Nathan Ivey Show. So if you could make that happen, that'd be good the next go around.
Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate the flows.
Thank you, sir.
Always. Setting the record straight. Irish is good as giving us a filter to look at things, right? We'll go ahead and rack her. She's absolutely right. All great. All great ways to go back and reprocess the conversation. Of course, it'll be a podcast, so you can listen to it at whatever point you want to. Take it from the beginning. We talked about all of that. And again, you can listen to, as she said, what was answered and what was not. That was not lost on me. Absolutely. Let it marinate. Somebody writes facts. That's TNT. Let me go back here. Preach, Iris. Speak. Preach. Let me go way back here. There's some debates about, see, I think it's about right here. So what do you think? I mean, should it be, if you're in, how are you going to process it? Is it going to be straight up party? Is that what it's going to be? Like, again, I wanted to give her enough time so she could explain who she is. People out there trying to hold things against you. Hey, explain it. Explain it. And you just got to be, smart people can hear it. They know what's going on. She said, of course, sorry about that. Yeah, you can hear it for yourself. What do you think? What is your impression? Likability goes a long way, but I don't think that's the only process and lens you can use. Oh, nah. They got a record, look at the record. And that was Judge Elisa Murphy. What do you think? What do you think? And I know there's probably a lot of folks who are not in that district. But so what? You know, if you're politically inclined, I mean, you can still get a sense. You never know. You never know. People are always changing and going for different careers. You never know. Never know. Judge today, hey, prosecutor tomorrow? It depends. If you are somebody that supports Fanon Rucker, then more than likely you're going to roll with that. But what does that mean for Janaea Trotter? We shall find out. We'll find out together. Good morning. 513-873-7134. That is my number if you would like to share your thoughts. I mean, she really knows who she is. She said it like 87 times, so there is that, right? Yes, that was her reflex. That was her go-to phrase. Fast Pitch writes, no one gets my automatic support. There are plenty of trash, shady Dems, too. Yes, there are. You know, that's the, you know, some people like Drop. He thinks he's smarter than everybody else. So he thinks that when he says that the Democrats have programmed the black community, he thinks that, you know, black people don't see that. Like he's the only black person who can see that. Oh my God. But yeah, he blindly votes for whoever the Republicans put up there. Doesn't matter who it is, he gonna vote for him. I mean, if they elected like the human version of like a big old pile of trash, right? And put some, and then, you know, put a toupee, a yellow toupee at the top and call it the president, right? He'll still vote for it. That's my point. He'll still vote for it. It didn't matter if they would have elected Ben Carson, Ricky Rubio. It wouldn't really matter. Drop was going to vote for him. But yeah, he's always criticizing black people that vote for the Democrat Party. The man's a walking contradiction. Terrence writes, good morning, everyone. Servant leadership. You really mean that, huh? That servant leadership is no joke. We need more servant leaders. I stand by that. The fans don't jinx the Nats for staying how they left Drop. The Astros just outplayed them. Okay, a little baseball talk there. Didn't realize it. Let's see here. A lot of people in here can't vote for either because the race is not in your district. So we will see. That's true. That's true. That may be true. But I know for a fact there's people that listen to the show that's in the district. Again, I know it's super easy to do so, but the vast majority of people that's going to hear this are not in here this morning. They're going to download it, have already downloaded it. They'll listen to it later throughout the day. See, Terrence writes, do you know how many... Okay, they're talking about more. I wonder if Katie Hill will be a Republican. Will she get the same support for Republicans the same way white evangelicals support Donald Trump after Stormy No Rubber Daniels? What? I didn't need to complete that sentence. I didn't need to. Tracy's in the house. What's going on, Tracy? What's going on? What's going on with that little situation? Hopefully you're in the all clear, and that's behind you. Okay, I'm not. Looks like we have two beautifully qualified black women. Murphy made a lot of great points as well as Trotter Bratton. The R behind her names makes me a little nervous because they are ruthless right now. I think that's a great way of looking at it. I think it's a great way of looking at it. I think it's a very fair way. Crystal's in the house. She writes, good morning. TNT writes, she spent the 10 minutes using her skin tone in her family restaurant in the hood to validate her blackness to black people. When you are a queen of the motherland, that's the last thing you ever have to do. Critiques. Devastating critiques. You tell me. Man. Tough crowd. What'd you think about what Ira said? You know, I asked the question. And then I came back a little bit again and gave another little try at it. And it is what it is. So again, I'll put the podcast out and people can make their own decision based upon what's important to you. And again, you know, I think that even if it's not in your district, see, if it's not in your district and you're not in Cincinnati, you're probably going to tune away a little bit and come back mentally. I get it. But your questions are always helpful. Let me go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Nathan. How are you today?
Hey, pleasant sounding black man. I'm great.
Yeah, so, I'm pleasant sounding, non-threatening is how I prefer to come across.
All right. Pleasant sounding and non-threatening black man. How you doing this morning?
Oh, I am, pleasant, to be redundant. I just want to say
very
that
non-threatening.
Yes. I thought that Sister Victoria's comment, the one that you just read, was the kind of sums it all up.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
No, but to a deeper point, that actually the Judge Murphy, Elisa Murphy, she's a very viable candidate that black people should take seriously. But Sister V's point, the R behind her name is what's scaring her. That's what I've been saying about black conservatives for the longest. Black people genuinely have conservative values. We just don't want to be labeled Republican.
What?
Yes, black people generally have conservative values. We went over this before.
How are we there from where we started? How do we get here?
What you mean? How do we get where?
I mean, where are you going with this? It'll be curious. I'm going to go ahead and give you the stage.
I'm not going anywhere with
point?
it. I'm saying that Elisa Murphy, if I lived in her district, she would get my vote. You just don't want to vote against the what's that lady name? Her opponent, Janaya.
Now you don't know her name, Janaya.
Janaya. No, I wasn't being facetious. I don't really regard her, truth be told, because she's backed by her white daddy, Al Gerhardstein. So I don't take her serious. You know, I'm sorry if that hurts anybody's feelings or upsets anybody. That's just how I feel. I don't take people who are down with that guy serious. Just because I know he's the white leader for a lot of people in here. A white savior.
Who?
The people who, the professional Negro segment.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I was trying to get away from it. You asked.
But you're being all
asking
vague,
damn
man.
questions.
Don't be subliminal. Just put it out there.
I was trying to segue into something else, but you had to ask.
I mean, you taking little jabs. Take a big jab.
I ain't taking no big jabs. I ain't taking no haymakers, no little jabs or nothing.
So it's not a jab when you refer to Al Gerhardstein as Janaya Trotter Bratton's white daddy. That ain't a jab? What is that?
That's a fact.
That's a fact in your world.
Who does she work for? What law firm?
I'm not aware.
Oh, okay. You can play coy all you want.
I mean, we know. Well, I'm really not aware, but let's assume for the sake of argument that she worked for Al Gerhardstein. That don't mean that's her white daddy. What is wrong with you?
That's who name on the check.
And
he's white.
And
every time somebody listen, all I'm saying is that Elisa Murphy is the better candidate. And y'all know it. You just don't want to come to terms with it. Oh, I don't want to vote against my homegirl, Janaya. You know, then you had this white lady in here in the chop shop running all type of interference. I don't know what the hell her problem was, but like, lady, we peeping your bull.
I mean, listen,
your bull trying to be an agent provocateur.
Man, don't be a gatekeeper, man. It's okay to have new people in the chop shop. Damn,
I'm not being
look
a
at
gatekeeper.
You
I'm not being
her.
a gatekeeper.
You attacking her.
No, because she was attacking Elisa Murphy. You're not going to attack a black woman just to put another one up there. That's divide and conquer. We see you, toots. That's all I'm saying. You know, Elisa Murphy's the better candidate.
Make your point. I'm not.
Elisa Murphy is the better candidate. It just might be hard for the black community to come to that realization because of our undying love to the Democratic Party, more specifically, Democrats we know and consider cool. Like Kev on the sales said, I know her more from your former station. Elisa Murphy may have came out of nowhere. You know, but now that we know of her ethos, know of her politics, I find her to be the better candidate. That was your best candidate interview. Janiyah was second. I'll give you that. This is going to be a tough race. It should be a close race, go down to the wire. I mean, recounts, all that. It should be Tracy Hunter 2.0 with the recounts anyway. Hoping nobody goes to jail behind it. But yes, it should go down to the wire between these two women. And I just happen to, for some reason, I like new, fresh faces. I like Murphy. You know, the old guard of, you know, that the Black Boule, that clique of folks. I've had my fill of them. It was nice, but for 15, 17 years, it's time to switch it up. Go with some new black voices, some new black leadership. That's all I'm saying. And for me and my money, if I could vote in District 1, she would be the better candidate for me. When you take all that into consideration. You know, so all the little jokes and comments that people are making, you wouldn't say that about Trotter Bratton. You wouldn't even question that. All she would have to say is, yeah, I'm black. There would have been no skepticism to it, to what she was saying. You know, and then...
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm just telling you that just because somebody supports Janiyah don't mean that it's an uninformed and just strictly emotional position. At the same time, let's not underplay it. Because on one hand, you legitimizing people's opinions and emotions that might support Janiyah while coming up with your own, you know, just arbitrary ones, acting like that's some gold standard. You say you like fresh faces. Why is that more important than the reasons why people might support Janiyah Trotter? That's all I'm saying. Look at it that way.
Since the advent of your former employer is when I recognized that there was a Black Boule. And have things gotten better in Black Cincinnati since the formation of that station and the Black Boule? Your silence speaks volumes. You're a gosh darn lie.
I took your approach when you said
a black judge went to jail in front of us.
The same black judge that you blamed her for going to jail, right? Now you recognize that it was racism? Now you want to recognize that Tracy Hunter didn't do it to herself, huh? Finally.
You'll never have me recognize that.
Then what's your point?
What you mean, what's my point? A black judge went to jail in front of us because she had the backing and ill spirit of the Black Boule who led her astray.
That's creative, but it ain't gonna fly.
I don't care that it doesn't fly.
That is creative.
It's the truth, B. It's not creative, it's the truth. Reasonable people realize this. Tracy Hunter didn't help herself. So when you get these candidates on here talking about, well, how do you feel about Tracy Hunter? They're not going to tell you that, but in their private moments, they know good and damn well because they know how explosive it can be in the black community. But in their private moments, what the hell was she thinking? That's what they say to themselves.
She should have stayed in her place. She should have baked cookies for him every day, right?
It's not stayed in her place. She should have moved with more cunning and guile.
Oh, no. She should have stayed in her place. She should have swept up and mopped the place every night. She should have made sure that, Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters got his favorite brownies.
You're
with the
projecting.
macadamia
You're
nuts.
projecting. That's
With
what
the
you think black
macadamia
women
nuts.
at the workplace should be.
I'm just saying.
That's what you think black women at the workplace should be.
That's
Yes, you do. That's
not
what
going to
you
work.
think. You're projecting.
I'm not projecting.
Yes, you are. Nobody ever said that. Nobody ever said that to bring some damn cookies to work.
I'm making
Nobody
a
ever
point.
said
I'm making a point.
And
the point I'm making is when it comes to Tracy Hunter and also on some other stuff, you always taking the weak ass way out. If she would have just kept her head down, if she would have just baked some cookies, and you always saying that about her. So which is it?
I never said keep your head down and bake some damn cookies. I said move with more cunning and guile.
No, that's not what you said.
I did
that's
say
what
that.
You're saying now.
Rewind it. I've always said that. How much racism were you going to erase? How much of in one 6-year term?
As much as possible.
And it didn't because she didn't even complete the whole 6.
I'm just saying, but
because she didn't move with cunning and guile, no strategy. You could say you could temper it how you want to. That is the fact.
No, that's your fact, sir.
There was no strategy into what she was doing.
That's your imaginary fact that you stitching together as time goes on and you get more information because your shit keeps changing.
I want to say this because no, it does not.
Yes, it do. It's changed in this calendar year. But go ahead though. It should though, because when you get more information, then you might do better and come up with a different conclusion. I get it. But go ahead. What's up with Ice Cube?
In the immortal words of urban American poet O'Shea Jackson, better known as Ice Cube, color me bad, but you can't sex me up. Okay. Now, Friday. You had the purple-haired broad on here running for school board, with a backing of a gun group. And I say, the gun group, blah, 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 this and that. Everybody was like, oh, you should do some research. Listen, why do you need to run for a school board under such a macabre organization anyway?
Did you do any research on the organization, sir? Number one, I'm going to give you an A+ for that transition. I understood it. It was eloquent, well-timed. Great segue to this point now, but did you do any research with the gun group?
No. I told you on Friday.
Then you just talking ish, man. I mean, at least don't be lazy with it.
Can I finish?
Of course you can.
Okay, Kanye West, let me finish. Okay, I don't mean to be Taylor Swift, but let me finish. Okay, now, she is running with the backing of a gun group. Whatever
man.
Listen,
2 for 2.
Whatever their mission statement is, I don't need a political candidate running for a school board, nonetheless, with such a macabre interest behind her. We want to limit the rights of people so that you can't take a firearm into the schools. What? Urban schools don't get shot up.
Are you sure that's their platform?
That according to the website or some I'm just kind of paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing.
Did you go to the website? Because I did it live on Friday. Did you follow along on that show and go to the website?
I followed along. I went to the website. I'm still unimpressed. She's still a bad candidate.
Yeah, but
and all y'all.
But is it confirming your suspicions?
The point of what I am saying
it does not.
Is
because I went to the website.
It does confirm my suspicions. She's a bad candidate.
I'm not saying she's a good or bad candidate. I'm just talking about on that particular point. I think it's fair before you mischaracterize that organization. I don't know what their overall platform is.
When I went to the website, district has had a school shooting.
Anything that spoke to this particular issue that you're talking about arming teachers. I didn't see anything on the website that suggested that's what they are in standing for. Now,
maybe they're being coy about it.
I might have missed it.
Maybe they're being coy about it.
I might have missed it. They might be coy about it or whatever. But I'm just telling you, until you understand that, then you just kind of talking. But go right ahead. I get your point.
Again, you missed the point. Why do you need such a macabre interest backing you? When is the last time an urban school got shot up? CPS is an urban school district. School shootings don't happen in urban school districts.
Just woefully ignorant.
There's only 2 schools in Cincinnati public schools where that might even occur.
Yeah, but you're ignorant to all the near misses that have happened. In fact, when Marlena came on, she talked about a near miss that happened. That was underreported.
A kid brought a gun to school to date her. Was he going to shoot it up to school, or was he just fronting to show people off his gun? black kids don't shoot up schools.
Are you willing to gamble on kids' lives? On what he gonna do with it? No. I want to stop.
Are you willing to gamble on this purple-haired broad?
From getting into. You already know how I feel about it. I was very clear on that interview. I was very clear.
Are you gonna gamble on her?
Are you gonna gamble on her?
Hell no. She's already made a bad decision by dyeing her hair purple. Now we're going to put her in a position to make bad decisions on behalf of our kids. Get the hell out of here.
I got a message from her campaign manager on social media, and she wasn't too happy. I kind of got that. She didn't come super hard, but she made a comment about, did I get a chance to tell my own personal my hair discrimination story? And it seemed like sarcasm.
Oh, yeah, there we go. The white lady preaching discrimination to black people. That would have went over well. Shut your funky ass up, lady. You ain't getting my vote. I'll holler at you at the next moon. Vote for Murphy. Oh!
Oh, my God. He has some classic segues in there. I must give him that. We're going to go ahead and rack him. Might be a classic call. Although I disagree a lot of what the hell he said. That might be a classic right there. Might be a classic. You must admit. Looks like, yes, I think I read that. Looking at your chat here, trying to catch up. Hold on, I got to go to a different source. Yeah, that was Fame. It's a classic call, I must admit. I think we'll call it an instant classic. Segues, I think maybe better. Crazy, man. See, that's why I don't want to leave. I want to go, let's kick it today. What else is going on? You can, I don't know. Angela writes, Lord, let election day come that much quicker. Feel you. I kind of feel you on that. I kind of feel you. Oh, boy. TNT writes, that commercial about Judge Hunter was a low blow. People are still sensitive about what happened to the Judge Hunter, and to essentially blame Janaea for her conviction without acknowledging the conservative white men power structure that orchestrated it all was highly disingenuous. Well, that's why I thought those questions were fair. Yeah, the Republicans want to keep that seat. And we'll see. They may have found a good candidate. Fame seems like he's impressed. But his criteria is no more valid than your criteria. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your criteria is, as long as you feel like you're informed. That was quite interesting. So Fame wouldn't vote for a black one because she has blonde hair? Well, to be honest with you, some will not. Some will not. Just be honest here. Some will not. To some black people, they'll take that as a symbol of something that they don't like. That's the truth. And this whole thing with Marlena's head, there's listen, damn it, you wouldn't tell your daughter to run for school board with colored hair, would you? No, you would not. You'll tell her to, hey, look, you're going to have to just, be professional and suppress your individuality if you want to project the right image. And there's no two things about this. You wouldn't run as Fame. I'm quoting this guy. Damn, I hate this, but I must. As Fame said, you wouldn't run for city council like that. Wouldn't run for judge like that. What if either one of these candidates, black, females, Janaea Trotter, Bratton, and Elisa Murphy, had a little purple streak down their head? You gonna tell me you're not gonna look at them a little differently? You know you are. You know you are. So stop the nonsense on that conversation. We all know it is. But I'm about individuality. I would never just do that. I don't think I would. No, I do have an implicit bias. I've got implicit bias. That was funny. The only thing that was classic about that call was the end. Okay. CG Dub does not have an appreciation for that nonsense. Okay. Sorry about that. People out there, I'm sending text messages to people busy. Sorry. My apologies. Let's see here. So drops in here talking about the damn desperate Democrats. Desperate Democrats? Man, nobody want to talk about no damn desperate Democrats, man. We got to make a decision to get as close as possible to what we're looking for. You know, one thing I'm surprised that Iris didn't talk about was the event that's taking place today of the formerly incarcerated individuals. Remember we had the conversation with Deanna Hoskins, which I thought was a real highlight of that particular show, just kind of hearing her flow. Again, she's got a great flow. I could just sit back and just, boom, put it up, put the speakers up, boom, and just listen to the interview. She was very descriptive. And I think she's doing great work. And they're putting together a presidential forum, and all of the questions are going to be related to people who are recently incarcerated. She corrected, you know, I got to take the brunt of somebody else's issues, but somebody asked a question about inmates. So I read the question straight up, and she had to correct us all. I do agree with that. The words do matter. I must agree. Let me see here. I see Iris is calling. Iris is calling back in. Hey, what's going on, Sister Iris?
Hey, Nathan, I'm so sorry about that, too. I forget to mention that was criminal. We are hosting the Watch Party today at 1580 Summit in conjunction with Just Leadership for the first time ever Returning Citizens presidential debate. So it's free, open to the public. We'll be there at noon. So if you want to come in and check out what's going on or get some updates to the questions that are being asked, if you want to know who showed up, that's where we'll be today at 1580 Summit Road in the beautiful community of Roselawn at the very own Summit Center that rests inside the beautiful new Prospect Baptist Church where we fight for freedom. And may I just say this to dear brother Fame. You know, Black life is serious. And so when I listen to sucker MCs like yourself get on here, and I try my damnedest not to talk about Black men because I'm married to one of the smartest Black men in the world. And I know how important it is being a mother of three, how we have got to be more sophisticated and engaged about Black life. Some of us don't take this in the game and howling and all that kind of stuff. Some of us take this as real. This is what we do. This is how we get down in protection of our Black community. So when you come from me, I suggest that you come with just a little bit more breadth and depth to it, dear brother, because this sister fights harder for your own Black life than you do, Black man. So you need to just try to figure out how to, let's at least have a conversation where it's going to benefit us both. I don't like coming for you or whatever you call it, caping, whatever the new term is in the second decade of the 21st century. I don't like doing that kind of stuff because clearly you're not my enemy. You do not have the power and control to control the whole damn Black community. Those are the people that I fight with, Fame, not you. I would suggest you come on over to the forum today, dear brother, and sit down and let's drink some coffee and talk about it because it gets real tiring listening to this because we hear the seeds of the vision. And it's not just in service, not because it's in service to our community, but it's because it's in service to you personally. That's not how we should be getting down. We should be trying to make a better way for our children's children. And that's what Iris Rowley is all about. So when you're on in the thread and you wanna cap and act real childish, I can do that. I choose not to do that. I wish I didn't have to do that to defend myself when I have to go out here and fight against the FOP president. Fame, I don't see you going after such a powerful person as Dan Hill like Iris Rowley has to do. I don't see you standing behind me on my side or in front of me to protect this sister who's trying to put your rights in front of her life. Brother, you can't come for me. And it looks real silly when you try. So come on over, sit with me. Stop playing games because this ain't funny. And when I talk about children who are being sentenced in juvenile courts and adjudicated to Department of Youth Services and who don't get the same treatment as non-Black children, I know what the hell I'm talking about, Fame. There are those of us who study this. There are those of us who help families every single day. All we hear is Black women saying how the juvenile courts have taken their children and nobody's down there helping them. I can give you some cases on your caller, Nathan, that just got off the radio, who's running for judge. I could show you some things, but we need to allow her to speak for herself to tell you what she's done because that's one of the most important courts is the juvenile courts. Yes, the magistrates sentence children to jail. Yes, they do. And so all of this for me, is critical to how we then deal with the rest of the court systems and the judges. So, Fame, it's not a joke. Again, like I said, come on over and sit with me today. Watch the political debate. Listen to the formerly incarcerated. You may learn something. You may gain some respect for your own damn people who sacrificed their lives so you can have the one that you have today. 1 p.m. today, Nathan, 1580 Summit Road, first ever formerly incarcerated presidential debate will happen. It will be live streamed and we're hosting a live party. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Damn. Man. Fame, I would say, man, just leave that alone. That's what I would say. I would say find other targets. That's what I would say. I agree with what she said, brother. I agree. I mean, how can I not? That's her opinion. Speaking about her interaction. So, again, I know we on the internet. I'll say it again, but I never get too far away from the fact that, I'm on the internet, but I'm in Cincinnati. I don't plan on going nowhere. Okay? And I think we need to understand that there's different levels of engagement, right? Everybody brings something different to the collective, so to speak. So, it's like, when Iris is here, she's giving typically a lot of very serious, as she sees it, and I as well, very serious information that those who have the ear or inclined to hear that live in the Cincinnati area could get at least an education out of. But let's go to the phones here. So let's talk to Fang. What's up, Fang?
You allowed that woman to call in and insult me yet again.
I never
said her name. I never said her name.
I don't think
called
she
out a
insulted
man.
you. I think she was saying that she don't want to play.
No, she called me gay again. I just told you that the other day. That's just one place you don't play around with black men. We don't find that funny. You see two black men outside chesting up, ready to fight, just talking greasy. Ain't a punch gonna get thrown till somebody says something about a sex organ. You ussy or SMD, that's when they gonna start fighting because that's a boundary you don't cross with black men. I never mentioned that woman's name, but every time I call in,
you didn't mention her name, but is that who you were actually mentioning? Is that the point?
Did I not say Bob Hilton? I went specific. I didn't say her. Every time, whether it's the little thieving ass girl up at Kroger or Mitchell or something else, she wants to call in and attack Fame. I don't get it.
I don't think she was attacking.
You say we're not enemies. You say we're not enemies, but every time I call in with an adverse opinion, she calls back and mentions my name. And you continue to allow it. I don't find that to be fair or even professional.
I'm also allowing you to get on right now and set the record straight, too.
I don't... Listen, I don't...
Is that the depth of your problem with him? I mean, is anything deeper than that?
I don't personally. The person I know personally that's probably in the Black Boule, I text you a picture of what they were doing Saturday night.
I did receive that picture, man.
And we keeping that between us.
We gonna keep it between us. Let's keep it between us, man. But what, you out here stalking people, man?
I ain't stalked nobody. He came into my domain. Like, bruh, you running for prosecutor?
See, there you go. There you go.
Okay, you're running for the prosecutor, and you do this? You think why you up there asking if I'm stalking him? You better ask if his opponent stalking him, because I bet they are.
I mean, again, you're implying. See, now you set it up where you damn near got to put it out there.
No, we don't. That's our business.
Now
we don't have to put it out there.
Now people are going to be like, what is he talking about? And it seems like something illegal was going on.
It was nothing illegal.
So then there's no problem then.
It was unbecoming of a public official. Because we saw another black man get taken down because of doing stuff that was unbecoming of a public official, the city manager. And they used that against him, did they not?
Yeah, but they would have used
But
any old damn thing
buts,
against
no
them.
qualification,
No,
Nathan.
No,
Black people don't get the benefit of qualification.
You're the king of saying two things can be true at the same time.
Okay, go ahead. What else is true then?
I'm just saying. I mean, yeah, he may have. Are you talking about the city manager? Yeah, he might have had some drinks at a bar. Again, nothing was illegal. But the
didn't
real,
they use that against him when they ran him out of here?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. When the decision comes down, any old thing they're going to use against you.
And what you don't know is that guy who I sent you the picture of, and another guy who's a friend of his, another black local leader, I've sat and talked to them personally. Like, bruh, y'all need to chill. You see what they did to Tracy Hunter. I don't want that to happen to you. Oh, but brother, it don't matter. When they come, they coming. But as far as this, I'm not even in Cincinnati yet. But what time is her little thing? I don't know if I can make it back in time. What time is their little shindig?
I can't remember off the top of the head, actually. Hold on,
Maybe,
let me double check.
Maybe somebody will post it. I'll try to get back to Cincinnati in time to go to it. But I'm going to still have the same approach that I have now. Racism ain't going nowhere. Your best bet, like I told you, racism is Orlando Anderson.
Man, why are you going to try to lie on the air like that, man? Somebody just sent me a text message that you posted in the chop shop that reads, "Your face makes my stomach ache." And then you talking about Sister Iris. Maybe that's what set her off.
No, because she called me the new masculinity. Why don't you scroll down a little further? Has she not been calling me that for several days now? Oh, yeah, we forget
she
that.
Has.
You even made funny. Okay, then. That's it. No qualification.
Yeah, but I started that.
That's it. Nope. There's no qualification.
There's no qualification. I started that.
Either you did or either she called me that or she didn't. She called me that or she didn't.
I think you're being a little sensitive, man. I do.
I'm not being insensitive. I'm not being a little sensitive. I'm saying this woman has no business attacking me, a private citizen. When you want to be the public face of whatever, you're open to scrutiny. You're going to have to deal with it.
Is that how it works?
I'm not your enemy. I just disagree with the approach y'all taking.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay,
That's
you got
all.
your word in. So now,
that's all.
Now it's all even.
So quit calling in, insulting me, calling back in after you done already calling back in to say blah, 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 blah. And now you want to be pals and invite me to your little shindig. I'm going to go in there with the same aggression, the same attitude.
Why would you do that?
Because I'm going to tell them that they need to be told.
You just told them.
Bishop Bob Hilton is a professional Negro.
Why are you attack? You attack a lot of black men and black women.
And just light-skinned people, gays, everything. Yeah. I attack everybody, don't
pretty
I?
much.
Just a disagreeable Negro.
I mean, just a conceited bastard, I guess, huh?
Thank you. Now you get it.
I got it from the jump.
This ain't shtick. This is me.
Well, be you.
I wish you would have told that to the caller, to the last lady who just called in.
I didn't have to.
You should have told her that. Like, look, Fame is who he is. It's been the same caller, whether he's calling this show or my other show that I used to have on commercial radio. He was the same cat. Makes very uncomfortable opinions.
No, you wilder now. But the show is wilder, so.
Exactly. So that's that. I'm going to try to make it to their shindig. We might make the news. I'll holler.
Man, go in there with the right attitude. You're going to get yourself messed up. Please don't do that. Please do not do that. Matter of fact, you are disinvited. Everybody else is invited. You are not invited. As if I could speak for them. Listen, man, go in there with a level head and sit down and talk with that beautiful sister and just get some knowledge and get on the same team. All right? See what the world comes to? It's the white man pitting us together. It's that damn Al Gerharstein, right? He is stupid. It's your daddy. Now, think about how sensitive this black man is. You call up here and insult Janaea Trotter-Braden. And all she's trying to do is serve the people. You insinuate some type of just not positive relationship between herself and her non-black employer. I mean, it's just funny how when people, so I guess, I don't know what this is, man, but I'll just say this again, that it don't go down like that. So you can come in and imply just this really nasty, vicious thing about her and her employer. And then get sensitive because somebody called you the new masculinity. Come on, man. Is it just me? Is it just me? Check out the podcast. You already know. Is it Just Me podcast with Donnie B? Donnie B went in. She went absolutely in. Man, I'm sitting next to this woman and she is breathing fire. She's breathing fire. I'm like, just withering the storm. Oh, man. And she is very passionate, and somebody has to be. These kind of debates, this kind of passion around the issue of where the transgender line is, on so many different ways, is going to continue to be a hot button issue in all of our communities, but I think in the black community especially because of, as was stated earlier, some of our deep Southern conservative roots. And she feels like being a woman is under attack. Now, we know, being politically speaking, skin color wise, the black body is always under assault while simultaneously being fetishized. They despise us, but our black bodies turn them on. White people love black bodies, and we know it. The intellectuals know it. It's a lot written about it. You should go check it out. There was a woman. It was a woman from Cincinnati, professor, who wrote quite a lot about that, actually. What's her name? I can't call her. Our very own Bell Hooks, in a sense. What's her name? Anyway, it'll come to me. Smarter minds might be able to decipher what the hell I'm talking about. And yeah, we still rocking. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. This is your West Side Connection, Job Squad 52.
Good morning.
Calling in from the left coast. Good morning, sir.
How are you? I
am, sir. I was not going to call today, but I see you're having an extended show. And I would just like to mention a few things that happened over the weekend that are not going or not helping the Democrat Party in their pursuit of the first orange president. If you will allow me, sir, it'll only be a few minutes.
I'm curious, man. Go ahead. Give us some information.
Okay. First, I'll start off on Friday. The Senate held a vote to, what do they call it? To a resolution to condemn the fake impeachment inquiry that's happening in the House of Representatives. And it was a total of 50 of the 53 senators. Okay, that was the first victory because that automatically sent a message to Nancy Pelosi and Shifty Adam Schiff that once you finish your fake impeachment hearing and you write up your articles of impeachment in the House of Representatives and take the vote to see if 218 members of the House of Representatives will agree on those articles of impeachment and send it to the Senate for trial. Okay, so that is the first thing that did not go well for the Democrats on Friday. Then on Saturday, at the 2020 Bipartisan Justice Reform Group, they handed an award to Donald Trump for his excellence in criminal justice reform. And the event was held at a historically black college. And it happened to be at the same venue that your guest the other day, Deanna Hopkins, was holding her event. Because if you remember, she said because Donald Trump was also speaking at this event, she wondered if any candidates would cancel. And guess what? Lo and behold, guess which one canceled, Mr. Ivy? Team Light Skin, Kamala Harris. But after pressure from her campaign about her passing up this event at an all-black college, considering she can't get black votes if she was passing out Popeye's chicken sandwiches. So she backs down and she shows up to the event. That's number 2. And the third big thing that happened is that Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States, captured and killed the most deadliest ISIS leader known to mankind. The man actually started a country in the Middle East after Barack Obama pulled out.
The new boogeyman, right? They always sell us a boogeyman. The new international boogeyman.
Okay, now my last consolation, which will be number 4, congressional freshman Congresswoman Katie Hill from the 25th District in California, who sits on, I think she's the co-chair of the House Ethics Committee, has resigned from Congress yesterday evening because she was the freak of the week. Check Drop Squad 52 on Twitter and you'll see my video. But those 4 things, Mr. Ivy, not good for the Democrat Party, or as I call them, the desperate Democrats. And then plus, they used the funeral of Elijah Cummings as a political rally to take shots at the first orange president. To me, it just wasn't a great weekend for the Democrats. But it's Washington. Things will go on. So that's my take, Mr. Ivy. And I thank you for allowing me to get that out. So anything else before I go?
No,
because I don't think Mr. Mahler is going to call in.
I think you hit all the finer points, man, of your bias of representation of the news. But I appreciate it, though.
But you know of all those events, and I'm pretty sure people who don't know will trust but verify. Drop Squad 52 on a great Nathan Ivy show for Monday. Brother, your show was outstanding. Dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace.
Take it easy. We'll rack up, not because of you trying to say the show is outstanding. I appreciate it. But, overall, it's content. A lot of stuff he said was so biased. It was very biased. Some of it was factual. Straight from Fox News, man. You could tell he's a true Rush Limbaugh disciple. Like, at first, I thought he was just like he was putting on a personality, right? Because sometimes people do that. And I ain't mad at it. You know, you want to change the name up, the avatar, the flow, whatever, man. Let's have fun with it. While also talking about some critical issues as well. Okay? And, it is what it is. Oh, boy. He means it. He really means that nonsense, but it is what it is. We all have our different perspectives. In terms of like the most interesting viral videos that I saw over the weekend, as if you would care about such a thing, was, of course, Trump over the weekend taking his victory lap. They got Al Baghdadi, I believe. And this man had on a so-called suicide vest. I guess he said he was rather die than to be held at Guantanamo or some other secret site. Some old place where you have no rights whatsoever. Hey, it's not us. We're not touching you. It's our friends. Some old black site, black off the grid, no zip code. You're not going to be able to see it on Google World. Can't see it. Doesn't really exist. And they'll put his ass in there and just start doing all the shit they said they're not supposed to do, like, waterboarding or whatever else. Trying to get information. Or you just spend the rest of your life in solitary. Spend the rest of your life in solitary confinement. Which is worse? Maybe I'll get out one day. Put you in a box with no sound. And you got like 2 books there. I made this declaration yesterday privately. So I'm going to come out and make this declaration right now. And this is going to be a little bit of a change for me. I'm going to be without a home, so to speak. A Ronin, samurai without a home for a little while because I may have to get off of the LeBron James bandwagon. Been rolling with Bron since before he had any championships, He got 3 now. And my support goes a long way. Goes a long way, spiritually. And I don't think LeBron is ready for basketball. I don't see it. Because you can't be ready for basketball and you're wearing one of those, like, things are a lot better now for black men. Like, if you're a black man and you're really, like, relatively not non-athletic, like you just want to look good, but you don't really want to get too sweaty, okay? You don't work out or anything like that. You try to watch what you eat, and you'll walk here or there, but you ain't playing basketball at the gym with the brothers no more. You ain't going really hard. You can get yourself a piece, and they look amazing on black men. So I ain't even worried about it. Like, I don't know what I would do. I'm more of a natural, whatever happens kind of thing happen, So if I start to bald, then will I get insecure about it? I don't know. I don't think I would. I'm the type to just go baldy. And like Michael Jordan did, like Kobe Bryant did. And did you see that viral moment over the weekend where LeBron's lace, I don't know if it's called a lace front or whatever, but it came out and you could see the bald spots. And then his teammate, Anthony Davis, pardon me, is on the bench kind of like, hey, check out your hair, kind of giggling like, damn, look at LeBron's piece. Now, why is LeBron worried about hair pieces, man? You in the NBA. I know the technology, this guy's worth like $200 or $300 million. So, he's got the best in all that stuff, technology. He's probably got a team that follows him, right? And does his hair. Think about that. Talk about the new masculinity. What in the hell? How masculine is that? This motherfucker run around with a patch. You gonna do that for 82 games? Like, usually when you hear the term sweat it out, you're thinking about a woman who just got her hair done. She might sweat it out. We're talking about a man. I just don't get it. The greats don't care about their hair. They out there to ball. I used to play with some older dudes. Man, there's some dudes out there bald and Caesar. Man, they'll cross you over and dunk on your ass. Like what? What difference does it make? I'm just pointing this out to people that's into that kind of stuff, man. That is not a good sign for that team. You got AD laughing at you because your front shot, your lace front or whatever they call it is coming out. Why is this man so worried about his hairline? Just cut it all short. You're a black man. He must have an unusually shaped cranium. I don't know. I don't know. That was not a good look. Who's got time to worry about those kind of things? And you out there, and you in the NBA. Bad sign, bad sign. See here. Boy, a lot of critics in here this morning. Lots of critics. CG Dub writes, LBJ and that wig piece, dude, what are you doing right? What is he doing? What is he doing? Why would you care about your hair and you're LeBron James? Number one, just goes to show you, like, number one, that's just how Nick Wise is. Like, they can have everything, but the one thing they don't have is the one thing they want. If LeBron James wasn't fatherly challenged, and it's going to happen to every man, so believe me, I don't see no difference. What difference does that make? What your hair look like? That don't got a goddamn thing to do with nothing. He's caught up on some dumb stuff. The dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life is very sensitive. Just go bald. Women love it bald. It's all nice and trimmed up. All you got to do is trim your beard anyway these days and drop a photograph and beard games matter, and you're going to get somebody in your DMs. That's how easy dating is these days. It's so easy. You ain't even got to go out. All you got to do is take your favorite, just got my haircut, photograph, got your suit on that you wear like for the first time ever. Take a photograph, boom, put it in Beard Games Matter, and all you got to do is sit there and surf through the comments. I haven't done it, but I've seen it done. That's how I know you can do it. That's all it is. Women hit you up in the DMs like, you got a girlfriend? Before you know it, you're hooking up. The new dating. The new dating. Safe, too. That's called safe sex. Clue Magic writes, LeBron wig came off during the game. It's time for that 187, Bron. Tell his brother to give that man a murder one. His wig came off during the game. I mean, and again, LeBron James has got to know that that's the reason. I've been looking at LeBron like, what's wrong with him? He's not going hard. That's because he don't want to sweat his hair out. LeBron James think he going to play a whole game and not sweat. You know, I'm in tip-top shape. I don't really sweat that much. Man, you do sweat. You just don't realize it. I don't care what shape you're in. That's why he don't want to go to the hole. Because he's afraid he's going to get smacked and it's going to knock his wig off. Now, how funny would that be? LeBron James, get past this man, go to the hole. DeAndre, boom, bam, slams you. And while the refs is trying to figure out whether it's a flagrant 1 or 2, LeBron's picking up his hairpiece. Why would he even take that risk? It's a bad sign, man. It's a sign that's so bad that I have to, I'm this close to jumping off the LeBron bandwagon. I don't like what I'm saying. I'm just being honest with you. I ain't like that. But who gives a damn what I think? I'm just talking. Damn, Nate, you're saying women don't have standards past a shaped up beard? LOL, no. Man, a shaped up beard, a couple of photographs of you at the gym working out. And drop a pic with you with your puppy or your son. Talking about how you're a responsible father and an entrepreneur. Boom, there it is. That's all it takes. Be up in the DMs. Up in the DMs. It was something about the DMs or something like that. Can't remember the chorus because it certainly wasn't what I was just imitating. It certainly wasn't what I was just imitating. Not at all. Give up the dream, bro. She ain't coming back. Shave that ish off. Right. It's nothing more confident than a woman that's confident in her. And I would only assume it'd be the same way for women with men. Shit, if you rocking what you got, that's all that matters. And all that don't like it ain't right for you. LeBron Wig, this is crazy. People, if you believe that once the info becomes public and the GOP will not save itself for Trump, I have a bridge to sell you somewhere in the Sahara. They will conserve their power at the expense of Trump. That's what I was trying to tell somebody else. I was trying to tell my uncle this. He's like, oh, man, he got the Supreme Court locked up. They're going to do whatever he say. No, they're not going to do whatever he say because if I'm a Supreme Court, even if Trump had appointed me, if I get on the Supreme Court, let's say I'm 50. My life expectancy is what? Another 25, 26 years, right? Easy. You live in that Supreme Court life, which I'm sure comes with perks. Lots of perks. How could it not? Living that Supreme Court life, you living good. Or am I going to jeopardize all of that for somebody that's trying to get 1 or 2 more terms, which might amount to 4 years or 8 years? I don't believe so. These senators, you getting a 6-year term, man? Man, you can't tell me being a U.S. senator is not one of the coolest jobs ever. Because what exactly do they do? And it seems like when they actually doing something, it's always at like the brightest moments, right, in the system, whatever's going on politically. Like Supreme Court-ish or some drama that goes before the Senate Judicial Committee or something like that. Or they're talking about stuff on the international stage. Or they're talking about very big movements happening in that particular state. It seems like a dope job. If you can get it, a few black folks have been able to get there. What do you think about Judge Elisa Murphy? And please share this pod today so people can hear it. LeBron needs to go holler at Maury's wig shop from Goodfellas. Maury jumped in the pool with his wig piece. I just hope I never get to the point where I'm wearing a wig piece. Okay? I think I would just cut it really, really slow, really, really low. Rock it super low as long as that worked, and then I would just cut it all off and rock a baldy, man. Women love bald men that are attractive and got good teeth, right? They love that. That just don't matter. He pulled up to the scene with his ceiling missing. To quote a famous hip-hop song, your hairline too messed up. You need to cut it. Poetic. Very poetic. Let me see more of your chat here. I'm trying to get any more Elisa Murphy chat. Fame, listen, chill, man. Stand down. Terrence writes, he did not capture nor kill him. He killed himself. The soldiers did. Operational Detachment Alpha, as well as the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the Night Stalkers. When President Obama authorized the operations against OBL, he made a 7-minute speech. Trump's damn near an hour and talked about himself. It's deplorable behavior. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's deplorable. That's a weak man move right there. Tell me if I'm wrong, Terrence. That's a weak man move. It's a weak man move. That's a weak man trying to take, number one, you trying to take shine from somebody else because the soldiers really did it. Your ass was sitting in Washington somewhere in the luxury of your wealth and privilege. Meanwhile, their ass was in Syria, and a part of Syria, as I very basically understand, is more hostile, not controlled by the United States or U.S.-friendly forces. So they put their lives on the line basically to go kill. Well, they were trying to capture the guy, as we were told, and then he ended up killing himself. I mean, damn, you think you had that kind of resolve? You ever heard of Ruby Ridge? Some people do, man. Some people, when they say, I'm not going to be going, you're going to have to come in here and get me, they really mean that. They're not joking. Man, see, what else here? Tracy writes, Donnie B went off the rails. Damn, my wife went out. And of course, my wife is close to me and she's aware of the shows and that kind of stuff. And she has a circle of friends. And she said they were out just yesterday, or maybe it was Friday, and the Donnie B show came up. And her show on Friday in particular, she went in. She did. She was breathing fire. I got to redo the interior of my office space now because it's scorched earth. And I'm going to try to connect her with some trans advocates so we can talk it out. Some folks out there who might be trans or who can intelligently speak to that and hook it up. I think she is cool with that as well. And again, she says she 100% for women. Like, okay, great, you're trans, but being a biological woman is valuable as well. And as a man, I can feel the same way. I feel like sometimes you want to erase what that means to be a man and where I am. If not that, what I am somehow is invalid now or should be on the same level as somebody else. I mean, can you give it up to nature? When is nature not the best teacher? Nature's the best teacher. You can look at nature if you really know what you're looking at. I'm not saying I have those abilities, but you can look at nature. Like sometimes you can look at nature and it just makes sense. It all works efficiently and perfectly for a reason. Okay, well, we're natural. You know, I am a natural born male. See, these are 21st century conversations right here. And if you missed it, check out the Is It Just Me podcast. Check out the audio version. I'll fully admit that the video version is less than perfect. Sometimes I have some hiccups here or there. And sometimes I think it's more the connection. So the more feedback, the better as I get to as perfect as I can be. I have no doubt in my mind that Donnie B is the Phoenix. Straight fire. That's hilarious. Iris writes, if you can make it today, please plan to attend the watch party at 1580 Summit Road at 1 p.m. Tony writes, could you give the link to Donnie B's Friday podcast? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Hold on. Yeah, she went super hard. She wanted to set the record straight. I mean, man, listen, that's what you can do. Set the record straight. All right, hold on 1 second. There you go. Sorry about this. I'm slowing down the show. All right, here we go. I just put you. Oh boy. Okay, here it is. There it is. So there it is. You can check it out, Tony. More of your chat here. Nate and Marla, did you read Jason? Did you know Jason Whitlock has a lace front? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because he was balding, and I can see now all of a sudden he's got this nice hair. It looks good on him. Like I said, black men, it's something about our hair texture, the complexion, it kind of works. And so whatever the fake hair is, it seems like they can easily match it. There's actually some cats in the city that do that. And you know what? I mean, is it the worst thing in the world? No. If somebody decides to go that way, I ain't going to necessarily blame you unless you're an athlete and you trying to run. I mean, come on, man. You got to let that go until you get past your playing years. If that's what your soft spot is and you feel like you can correct it, go right ahead. Go right ahead. And for black men, man, I seen a dude. This is on Instagram. This guy came in, he was balding, no hairline, straight Caesar naturally, right? He walked out with a full head of locks. Full head of locks. They did something to his existing hair too because they blended it in the side. I'm like, what? It's like a whole different person. So ladies, you know why I love it? Because women have been getting past doing that fake stuff for a long time. Number one, heavy makeup. Heavy makeup, heavy lashes, wigs, putting stuff in your bra. Women have been doing that stuff for a long time to try to make themselves look better to men. So now it's going to be a level playing field. You know, how many times you think this happened? People hooking up for the first time. Boom, he grabs the hair. Don't grab my hair. Or boom, wig comes off, piece comes off, something like that. Now the same thing can happen with him. Reach up there, grab them locks. One of them comes off. You're like, what the hell? I don't have no problem with that. You know, that's called equality. That's called equality. Nate, I saw that LeBron tweet you sent about his lace front. You saw that? Yeah. I tweet to people, man, that I care about. I care about LeBron, man. I'm invested in his journey. Okay? Son of Ohio. But this is a bridge too far for me. At some point, I have to redefine. No, not even redefine. I have to more carefully monitor the borders like Trump. Movie I saw over the weekend, and I did not see all of it, but I saw enough to get the gist of it. For people who are into this kind of stuff, one of the first sci-fi movies I ever saw was The Terminator. I thought it was great, and here it is now, many years later, they're still making them. They've got a brand new Terminator movie that just came out. And because of the wonder of Fire Stick, I was able to watch it. You know, it's classic Terminator. If you like the Terminator and the whole ethos and narrative and universe, canon, whatever the right word is, then you'll like it. What I thought was interesting was the not so subtle politics of it, though. Some not so subtle politics of that particular movie, in the sense that, okay, so sci-fi in general, okay, in my observation, and I'm sure other people as well, is largely divided up into a few sort of nightly nice narratives. And one that you see getting played out in some of the most popular movies, action movies, is the concept of the one. The one. You're going to get this over and over again in sci-fi movies, in some horror movies and things like that. But the concept of there's just one person on the planet who was born for some special purpose, larger than themselves, right? Which is so attractive because we all want to fantasize that we're that person, or maybe we did when we was a kid or something like that. So you see that getting played over and over again. And you see a lot of these movies where you have children who are the one. And, you know, it's like a whitewashing of the concept of who is important. Because typically what you've seen in those kind of narratives is that the one would be a white child or a white woman. I mean, even think about like King Kong. This 100-foot, ape but he's soothed by a blonde-haired white woman. The only one that could soothe the savage beast. So again, you see these getting played out over and over and over and over again, where it's a value judgment, creatively based on, even these made up narratives about who they think the audience will accept as being valuable enough to do all this kind of stuff. So in the first round, if you don't, not to take you too far back to it, but this concept was played out over and over again, where you had this robot from the future because mankind created our own doom. I posted something on Friday on the Nathan Ivey Show official page. You can check it out if you're interested, about these new robots that they're making battle ready. And over the years, I've been following the tech of this particular industry, man. And they have robots out there that have been trained to not shoot and recognize a human, but as soon as the human steps away, they will shoot other targets. Now, what are they trying to display there? They're trying to display that you can create a killing machine. Does it sound like RoboCop? This is real. You can create a killing machine that will carry a gun, kill people, because they're not thinking about shooting other robots. Right? And can distinguish between two targets, which means that you can pay to have it kill targets but not kill you. That would be pretty valuable. Man, these robots are like doing all these human type things with laser accuracy. Terminator? So I'm watching the latest Terminator. Telling we're going to, either one or two things or not both are going to happen is going to land into the end of mankind. Either we are going to further ignore the environment and Mother Earth is going to wipe us off the face of it with some apocalyptic type storms, tremendous weather patterns changing, something like that radically. It only takes a certain, few degrees here or there. Or we are going to, in our own arrogance, trying to play God, trying to build a better human, and we're going to create the mechanisms of our own doom. Either one or two are going to happen. That's how we burn up our opportunity here on this planet. In both cases, it's going to be us. In both cases, it's going to be us. That's what's going to happen. Man, you go back here. I'm going to get your last. These spider eyelashes some of these women wear are horrible, right? They are. Oh, let me see. TNT writes, Kanye been a lost cause after Trump. At this point, nobody cares, right? At this point, see, first we thought it was something intelligent because of the genius, the musical genius of Kanye West. Now we know it's just he ain't take his medicine. TNT writes, I knew it. RoboCop was coming. If we can't stop cops killing citizens, we'll be out of a job with artificial intelligence. That's right. I think the first application might be applied right now. I mean, this stuff is pretty sophisticated. And these things are carrying weapons. Police officers of the future? What will the humans do? We are going to F up. And science fiction has been trying to tell us this for a long time through these movies. What's the Matrix? Same basic concept as Terminator. We got to the point where we gave birth to AI, artificial intelligence, and it said, you know what? We don't need this human species. Let's get rid of you. Drop writes, Tony Broussard has a lace front. I believe he does. That's his business. It's his business. And you know what? To be honest with you, if you're going to be on TV like that, I can understand it. If you're that vain. But I think there's a certain power being comfortable in who you are. No matter what your hair situation or whatever other situation, your height situation, your weight situation, or your wage situation, doesn't really matter. See here, where we at? Mueller, I think I got pretty much most of the comments in this morning. So I'm going to make a move here at 10:52. Have an excellent day, all right? Have an excellent day, and we'll talk real soon, okay? Have an excellent Monday, and I wish you all well as we get started. All right? And I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, bright and early. I got some more interviews set up with the judicial candidates and also school board candidates. And again, don't just take it from one source. Take it from multiple sources. Take it from multiple sources. And again, in terms of getting more information, don't forget there are 2 opportunities left for school board forums here publicly in the city of Cincinnati. One is being held today. I don't know where exactly. The other is tomorrow in Avondale at Gabriel Place. You can check online. There are flyers out there. Shout out to Brother Lawrence. All right, folks, have a great day. I don't want to leave, actually. Actually, I want to stay. Let me see here. We might as well take it to 11. We might as well take it to 11. Shout out to all the people that put together forums. I know the NAACP, Prince Hall Mathans. I know there's others. I just don't have a handle on it. I think it's very valuable opportunities for people to get in front of the candidates to assess who they are. And I don't think you can ever have too much information. And then you can make the very best, choice for you. Don't take my take. Listen, I'm going to vote the way I vote. I would never come on these airwaves and do a couple things, lie, mislead you, or give you any false information about anything. I will always tell you this is my opinion. That's it. That's it. And then we each can make our opinions based for ourselves. We are very smart, intelligent people. So listen, smart, intelligent people, have an excellent day. Have an excellent Monday. Let's make this week productive in whatever you're trying to do. Okay? All right. Viva la Chapas. If you want to connect with me, I'm very connectable. You can hit me up on Facebook. You can go to my website. You can check it out there, nathaniv.com, nathansflow@gmail.com. Let's chop it up. Let's chop it up. To me, it's a work day. I've got some audio stuff that I want to put out, promoting some podcasts and that we are working on and that are already out as well. So you can expect some clips from that Donnie B podcast. I want people to hear that. What else? I may get a chance to get over here to Summit Road to check that out. I think that's very interesting. I love that, during this political season. Again, folks, 2020 is going to be a very highly politically charged environment. It already is. It starts November. November is a year out. In November, you're going to start hearing, announcements about various things. Okay, look for it. It happens every November the year before. And then, of course, next year, Trump re-elections, all the various local elections. It's going to be a lot to talk about. And we'll break it down. So listen, folks, have a great day. I'm not gone yet. We're going to go to 11. We might as well take it to 11 at this point, right? That's how I see it. Hold on one second. I got a little tea here. Hear that? That's tea. Sorry about that. Yeah, oh man. I see I put a little too much in there. I love a little tea before the show. Something like it. Let me see here. Nathan, you're funny. Always round up. Right, always round up. TNT writes, slack jaw yokels are becoming a liability on the force. Slack jaw yokels are becoming a liability on the force, and a million cities are paying out for nonsensical shootings will leave them bankrupt. If they don't quit protecting bad cops, all cops will be replaced by 2025. Well, I'm just telling you, it's some new tech. You can check it out. Check it out for yourselves. To me, it looks like real. And secondly, that's not the first video from that particular company I've seen. I've seen them over the years as the tech has been developing. And they're going to replace the military soldiers. Like, why send in humans when you can send in something that's non-human and you can keep your casualty rate down? Right? They're already doing it with drones. That's the value of sending a drone in, is you're not putting a human in harm's way. They're going to do the same thing with this new tech. And then we'll figure out, and then at some point, you'll have people walking around with, you know, if you want to say, for lack of a better term, robot bodyguards. What's better than a real bodyguard? A robot bodyguard that never leaves your side, doesn't have to go to the restroom, doesn't need days off, don't have a family. You don't have to keep paying. It's a one-time purchase, but, you know, something like that, they'll get you with the get back. Somehow you're going to have monthly, you know, data storage or, I don't know, VPN service, something like that. I'm spitballing here with intelligent people. See here. That is hilarious. Tony writes, you saw Black and Blue over the weekend. How is it, Tony? We chopping it up, man. We got a little time here. Come on, man. It's a Monday. We don't have to be too rigid. Drop right. Shannon Sharp has a lace front, does he? He might. Again, I'm not against these brothers with lace fronts. I'm talking about professional athletes like LeBron James. I mean, come on, you should have bigger aspirations than trying to keep. I thought he must have a young girlfriend somewhere. Mm-hmm. Making him feel like he got to project young. I mean, man, I don't get it. That's how people are. You can give somebody the world. The one thing they don't have is exactly what they want. You ever met somebody like that? They can have everything. But the one thing they don't have, especially if they see that somebody else has it, oh, that's the only thing they want now. Yeah. It's fruitless. Well, I mean, it's funny. The last time that Popeyes put out those chicken sandwiches, supposed to be it was a big thing. It was a national emergency. So we'll see what's going to happen. The new Popeyes got new chicken just in time for Thanksgiving. Like this Sunday coming up, they're supposed to get more Popeyes chicken. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because this show is hopefully an intelligent blend of flows on people, politics, and pleasure. And this was a pop cultural phenom. I still haven't had it. I guess that would make sense because I haven't even thought to go back over to Popeyes. I didn't know that they were out. I thought they had come back. So are we going to see black folks in line? Are we going to see black folks doing it again with the critics of black people? This is Popeye's chicken. Y'all, the sandwich is back Sunday. Y'all. Y apostrophe ALL ... The sandwich is back. Let me post this for you. You check it out for yourself. I got a problem with this. Y'all. That must be the Louisiana in it. Okay. That's the Louisiana flavor. Y'all, the sandwich is back Sunday, November 3rd. Then every day. And then a flame emoji. Oh, boy. It's going to sweep the nation again. And then Dr. Claude Anderson is going to do another video with Dr. Boyce Watkins, chastising the black community for being so frivolous in your spending. Get ready for it. Oh, man. So listen, have an excellent day, folks. It's after 11. Have an excellent day. I'll catch up with you real soon. I'm Nathan Ivey for Sin Digital Media, new urban voice in the city of Cincinnati. Check out those podcasts. And Is It Just Me podcast. Check out the Truth the Power podcast hosted by the Cincinnati NAACP. Stay up on what's going on what's on their radar screen. Got a couple new podcasts we've been working on that you'll hear very, very soon. Shout out to the Dope Chicks, right? And we're going to start cutting through the BS real soon. So today, let's see what's going on. You know what? I just thought about a couple things with my daughter. Man, you know what? When you put your kids, man, in situations, you got to give them your all. And that means time after school. So little Buddha, like a lot of kids at our school and other schools, has a tutor. And we've been playing musical chairs a little bit. So she's got that going on today. So that's it. I'm going to pick up the son a little early. We're going to hang out. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do some boy stuff together, like go to lunch. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully a fruitful day. So I got about 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, and then I'm going to do some family stuff a little early. So that's my day. So have a great day, and I'll talk with you real soon. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.